Take all the glory. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Praise the Lord. Let us have our seat. Once again, we welcome you this morning to the Digital Skills Training Orientation hosted by RCCG, now called at the same time by the Christolite Tribe. We want to say thank you for coming, and we believe that God will strengthen us and bless you via this program in Jesus' name. Some couples of weeks ago, a pastor called us together to share with us his passion for the youths, and not the youth alone, even to the, because we are called them the adult youths, what they can do to start making extra funds, money, aside from their daily business that they're going about. He's quoted the scripture for us in Deuteronomy 33, verse 11. Deuteronomy 33, verse 11 says, "Bless all his skills, Lord, and be pleased with the works of his hands." This connotes that if you don't have your skills, there's nothing that God will be pleased with. So whatever is in your hands that you do, that is what God will bless. And that is what God will be pleased with. And as a result of this, he asked us to come up with this program. And this morning, our welcome note says about the digital program that this digital orientation marks the beginning of an exciting adventure. Over the next hours, we will embark on a journey that will not only equip you with essential skills and knowledge, but we all will also introduce you to a vibrant community of like-minded individuals, which you will see them today. In today's fast-paced and ever-evolving world, staying informed, adaptable, and connected is so very, very paramount. So it's no secret that the digital realm plays a central role in this endeavor. So our orientation today is not merely an introduction to a program, it is an initiation into the digital era where boundaries are blurred and possibilities are endless. That is our welcome note. And there are a lot of programs or projects that we will be talking about today. And I believe after this orientation, people will be able to identify themselves with whichever skills they think they want to go with. You know, the last time when we shared the form that people fill that form, a lot of people pick, I love this, I like that, I like that, I like that. But I'll tell you, maybe after this orientation, you have a change of mind. Okay, this one will actually fit me. So I believe that God will help us in Jesus' name. Because in this age we are, there are a lot of skills that we all can learn that will equip us and enlarge our capacity and ability and enlarge our finance too at the same time. I pray that God will help us and bless us as we continue in this orientation program today. Thank you for listening. I'll introduce Sister Temi to come and speak with us shortly before we bring up our first speaker.
Good morning, everyone. It's like there's cold in the room or everything is just looking dull. I understand that we are not much, but number one, God is in our midst, so we have the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit here. Some people can't make it, and they're joining us online due to different reasons. I've seen things like maybe there's no fuel in Nigeria, so you wake up every morning and see a different surprising thing. But if you're excited to be here this morning, good morning, everyone. Good morning. All right, thank you so much. I'm excited to be here, and Brother Dami has given us the breakthrough of why we are here, what we are here for. And in order not to waste our time, because time is not on our side again, we're going to be going to the first presentation for today. You know, what we are here for is orientation. leading us to a training to understand the nitty-gritty of each of the skills so that we can make a better decision. You might have thought that I want to learn video editing, but maybe after listening today, you'll be like, I should go for photography. You might want to do UI UX, but maybe after listening today, maybe I should go for web development. So that's why we're here, to just clarify things and to be able to make a better decision. So right about now, I'm going to call on the first speaker in person of Miss Bukola Damilola. She's a digital marketing expert who has over 50 businesses who has helped over 50 businesses take their brands online. She dedicates her time to teaching innovative strategies for making money online and growing an online business. She resides in Lagos and is happily married with 2 children. With great joy in her heart, join me as I welcome Miss Bukola Damilola up here. Let's give her a round of applause. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Please turn to your neighbor and welcome your neighbor. Just say you're welcome. Okay. So like my sister have rightly introduced me, my name is Bukola Daramola. This orientation is going to be more about my story. How did I come in contact with digital marketing? You know, there's no course in school, in university, that is called digital marketing. But somehow, we all found ourselves here. I am a lawyer, and I've been practicing law for close to 10 years. So how did I start digital marketing? I got married at a point in time, and I started having children. And then the challenge that every woman faces, you know, having to balance between work, between family, and between career. So I had to, at a point I couldn't start working. I couldn't continue working because my work is very stressful. Sometimes I have to travel as early as 4 a.m. If I have matters in Abeokuta or I have matters in Badagry. I remember several times I almost lost my life along Badagry. But I thank God that God preserved me. So I just had to think outside of the box. How can I contribute my quota to help my husband, the poor man? He did not bargain for this because I couldn't work. I was having 2 babies, you know, and I was breaking down. So then I got interested in, during the COVID, something happened. Businesses shut down. How many of us remembered what happened during the COVID? Nobody could operate businesses normally. And then the internet exploded. So many businesses. Amazon, they were making millions of naira. So many online shops, they were making millions of naira. Why the traditional businesses were folding up? So it was a challenge to me that, okay, how can I also join the trend? Make money while at home? Because I'm at home, stranded. And I can also see so many people that I thought are better than me. My colleagues that were, you know, earning normally, they were also at home. So that was why I have to just find something I could do. And the first thing I learned was content writing. Everything I learned in digital marketing, I learned it by myself. I spent thousands of naira on courses. But, well, today, I can tell you that I have not regretted doing digital marketing. And it doesn't take you anything to do digital marketing. Now, I want to talk more about, when I say digital marketing, I know it might look abstract. What is digital marketing? Now, there are many career paths under digital marketing. And as a starter, it is advisable you start with one. Just like the old time saying, they say a jack of all trades is a master of none. So it's a problem if you know too many things, because at the end of the day, you will not be able to do anything with your life. You know too much, but to pick one. You know, so many people are multi-talented, but it doesn't translate to their finances. They are broke. Only you can make shoe. Only you can sew. Only you can cook. Only you can teach. Only you can do everything. At the end of the day, you won't do any. Or at the end of the day, you will not be able to maximize your potential or focus on one. So digital marketing is a very large field. I will just group some career paths we can explore in digital marketing. The first one is content creation and management. Content creation and management. I don't know how many of us know Linda Ikeji. She's a blogger. She's a good example of a content creator. If you're a content creator, you will be a good blogger. You can also do affiliate marketing with content creation. I know many of us have been hearing affiliate marketing. What is affiliate marketing? It just means that, okay, if you are selling something now, you go and meet some people, help me sell my goods and services, and then anyone you say, I'll give you commission. That's what affiliate marketing is. So how do affiliate marketing make money? They make money through blogging, content creation. And you don't need to be so brilliant before you do many of these things. You don't need any extra thing. Like I said, I learned everything I know now from my home, from my room. Although I did many free courses. I remember then I started with Google digital skills. During the COVID then, Google were training people free of charge in digital marketing. Then I graduated to other courses. I learned web design. I can build a website now. So learning or knowing content creation, you can make millions of naira. Now in this course, or in this workshop rather, these are the things I'll be teaching you under content creation. That's if that's what you're interested in doing. Number one, I will teach you how to get content. You don't have to be a good writer. You don't have to be, in fact, you don't need to go to school. The most important thing, you need to know how to write and have a laptop or a phone. You don't need any special skill to be a content writer. So I will teach you how to write books. For about 2 years now, I make my money writing. I write on platforms like Fiverr. I think I've made over $2,000 writing $10 books, $10 articles, just about 500 words. I charge $10. So it's very interesting. And those contents, it's not for my brain. So I will show you secret websites you can get content free of charge. Secret websites you can get content that are royalty free, content that are copyright free. So that's for content creation. You can make millions. I will show you websites that you can sell your skills, tools you can use to check for plagiarism, because there's really nothing new on the internet. There's really nothing new. There's no information that is new. Last week, I still got, I had a client from Canada. I have clients from all over the world. That's just the beauty of working from home. Please don't let anybody deceive you that you will be making dollars from your bed. There's nothing like making dollars from your bed. But if you are serious and you are ready to make it, you are ready to defeat the enemies in your father's house, God will say amen to you. Because the word of God says that a man that is diligent, what will happen to that man? He said he will do what? He will stand before kings and not mere men. So forget about those people telling you that you make dollars while you sleep is a lie. Even affiliate marketing, you must do your work first. And then you can start over a period of time. And another thing I want to add, there is no business that when you start it now, within 1 week, you start making money. It's another lie. There's no business. So don't give up. I think when I started content marketing, It took me about 6 months before I started making good money. At least for the first 3 months, people were asking about what I was doing. So what I did was I also joined another website. Don't worry, I will tell you all those websites you can put your profile and then people can see you and then contact you. Before you know it, I can tell you, this month alone, I've written about many books. I don't go out. Even my leg have started paining me. You can see I'm very fat now. I was not like this before. It's over enjoyment. You sleep, you just have enough time to worship God. You have enough time to think about your life. You have enough time to pray. Isn't life beautiful? Okay, that was on the lighter mode. So, it's life, working online is easier. It's easier. I don't know, there are so many of my mates. They will commute, they will enter traffic from Berger to Island to come to collect 100,000. Me, in 3 days, I finish, there's a book I'm writing now, I charge 100,000. I wrote that book within 1 week. And I did not write it from my brain. So some of my friends are going to the island to collect 150. I collect 150 within maybe few hours. It depends on how God smiles at me that week. If God smiles really well, I can do 300 sometimes. So that is for that's content writing alone. Then if you want me to teach you how to do a website too, don't worry, you can see me about that one. How to start a blog is very easy. I have some courses I can give you if you ask. So that's for content writing and management. Then another thing you can do under digital marketing is social media management. Social media management. I belong to several job WhatsApp group. There's no single week that I don't see job posting. At least I will see about 3 or 4 positions for social media management, social media manager. How many of us have been saying digital marketing manager? That's where the world is going. If you don't know anything, you don't want to do coding, you don't want to disturb your brain, go and learn digital marketing. That's where the world is going. And you don't need go to school, have a laptop. Then those companies are ready to pay from 200,000 upward. If you cannot get those ones of 200,000, start with the one of 80,000. In fact, that's the lowest I've seen for digital marketing or social media marketing. The lowest salary I've seen is 100,000. So even if you start with that one as a beginner or social media intern, if you are not confident to start, you will just apply for any role that says social media intern. They will pay you 100,000. Then you do that one within a year. And then the next year, you change to another role. You change to a better paying role. So the world is actually without limit here. This is where God wants us to be. No hustle and bustle. No traffic light, no suffering. Hallelujah. So that's for social media marketing. I will teach us how to get clients for your social media management career, if that's what you want to do. And what does social media management entails? It means that you will manage the profile, Facebook profile, Instagram profile, Twitter handles, and maybe TikTok for companies. Like I said earlier, the world is going global. If you are not online now, you are nowhere. So that's why these positions are. There's no company now. I'm telling you, in fact, if you want a job by next month, learn digital marketing today. If you want a job, just go to any of these companies around, submit your CV, and leave it there. Go to the HR department, say you are a professional. You do some certification, of course. Maybe Google Digital, those things are online. You can pay just maybe little money for some certificate. But just leave your CV in 10 companies. They'll call you within 1 month. Why? Because digital marketing is the That's where the world is going next. Every business wants to take their business online. Everybody wants to be on Facebook because that's where everybody is. And it's easy marketing. Just pay Facebook. Facebook will share your ad to people that can buy what you are selling. So it's actually easy. So that's for social media management. If you are interested, then we can learn that. Then another career path in digital marketing is search engine optimization or search engine marketing. This one is also linked to content creation and management. For example, if you want to be writing blogs, there is a way you can even sell your product on your blog. Search engine optimization means tracking the keywords. Tracking the keywords people are using to search for what you are selling. Tracking or researching the keywords that people, now if maybe next Sunday, pastor says everybody should wear blue boots, you see people will go on Google. And what will people be testing on Google? How much is blue boots? Do you understand? Where can I get blue boots? So Google has a record of all those your search terms. Anything you want to buy, you go on Google. Google records it, that this is what people are searching for. So search engine optimization is going to Google or search engines. We have different search engines. We have Google, we have Ask.com, we have Bing, we have Yahoo. So those search engines, they know what people are typing on their phone. That's why sometimes you go to a website, maybe Jumia, you are looking for TV. You leave you've already had one to car, you're just checking, but you're looking for a cheap one. So you left the website. You now go on Facebook. You now see that TV on Facebook. They are the ones following you. So that's artificial intelligence. Google knows, for those of us that watch porn or do bad things with our phone, you are not safe. You are not safe because there is a code that Google has that can track everything you do with your phone. Everything you search for with your phone. And that's why a time will come that crime is going to be very difficult to commit. Okay, let's leave that part. So we are talking about search engine optimization. So then search engine marketing, Google ads. So those people that, Jumia, Konga, they pay Facebook. They pay Facebook to follow you. You that you're looking for a shoe. They'll follow you to Instagram. They'll follow you to Facebook. Whenever you go to your social media pages, those things you have been looking for before that you have forgotten, you just see as you are flipping. You will just see this TV. How did Facebook know I'm looking for TV? No. They have your data. So that's what search engine marketing is about. Google ads, Facebook ads, and all that. So if you also want to learn that, it's good. It's very good. Okay, so another career path in digital marketing is email marketing. This one is very interesting and is also very easy to make money with email marketing. In fact, if I want to start making money from next month, go and learn email marketing. How does it work? I have okay, for those of us that want to learn email marketing, that is actually worth millions of naira, okay? But I can teach you. So there is this software that can get, I have a software that I use to get email address of anybody. I can go on Google now, and if I want email address for lawyers, I still did some yesterday night. I can scrape everything from Google. Every lawyer in Nigeria, with this software, I can get their email address. How can you make money with this? How can you make, I know some people have sharp brain here. How can you make money with that one now? Can you see that you are inside money, but you don't know? There are lots of opportunities online that you can make cheap money without knowing anything, any jack about tech. So these email addresses, all you need to do is to package them and present yourself. You can register one name, Tech Hub, or one beautiful name, one name that when you mention it, it will sound tush. You just have a name like that. Or you can say Lead Africa. That's if it has not been taken. Or one beautiful name, brand yourself, get a card, and go to tech companies or new businesses that are coming into the market. Tell them you sell leads, that you can help them get email address, or you go to, these new companies that are trying to penetrate the market. We know many startups already in Nigeria. Just go and say you sell leads, any lead they want. We have HMOs. Those ones are you can get email address of people, of hospitals, of anything, anybody. So with that software, you can even sit at home and making your money. You too, you're a businessman, you're an entrepreneur. So there are lots of ways you can make money with email marketing. Another thing you can do after learning email marketing is to also approach companies and say that you can help them market their products and services. You can help them, you can brand yourself as a marketing outfit. Say you have access to all the over 200 million Nigerians. And you have proof, yes, because you will show them email address. It was during that election, some people really made money from those guys that are campaigning. Do you know you can get all the email addresses of all the Nigerians on Google with this software I'm talking about? Email address from Lagosians, email address from Osun State people, Odo State, Abia. And you sell you can sell maybe for 1 time. Okay, my boss, somebody sent a mail to my boss. I work for many companies actually. The company I'm working for, okay, so you can see it's very nice. You can actually be working for yourself as if you're working for somebody else. Oh God, you need to learn digital marketing. So there's a company I work with. They are also into legal training. So somebody sent an email to my boss and said that he can help us get leads for lawyers. I just laughed and told my boss, I can do this thing. Don't worry. And then my boss told the person to send their charges for 1,000 lawyers. Guess how much the company charged for 1,000 lawyers? $300. $300 is over 300,000 naira for 1,000. That 1,000 lawyers, I sat down in my room and I generated the email address yesterday. So that means if I want to sell, if I want to do wicked, if I want to do my boss, I will just tell my boss, that 1,000 lawyers you're asking of, I have it, bring 300,000. I can even charge him 200,000. And he will see it as a good opportunity to buy from me because he's trying to cut costs. So there are a lot of ways we can actually make money in digital marketing. So that's just for email marketing. How many of us are interested in learning email marketing? Okay, let's move on. We will decide as time goes on. There are lots of ones that I think I've said the basic ones. Content creation and management, social media marketing, websites, content creation is also under content creation and management. Please, do we have any question about everything I have said? Do we have any question? So don't worry, during the training, before we start taking questions, during the training, I can show you my dashboard of some of the platforms that I'm on, where I sell my services, my writing services. You don't have to know anything about writing. They are where you will go. There's a place I will teach you where you can go and be taking content free of charge. And I don't know how many of us have heard of AI, although AI does it too, but me, I don't use AI content. Because some people don't. In fact, search engines, I think they penalize, not penalize, but your articles will not rank well compared to those who are writing organically. So me, I don't really advise AI content, but I use AI. Like this course I'm doing, as I was sitting there, I just told ChatGPT to write the course for me. You see, I don't prepare any, everything is on my brain. But I use AI to show me, just give me an outline, let me know what I want to say, but I know what I want to say. So that's what I just use ChatGPT to do. I don't use it to write my content. I write original content. And that's why my clients love me. If you go on my file, if you see the hundreds of reviews about my articles, I write original articles, but I don't write a line. That's my secret anyway. So please, let's take our first question. Sir, you raised your hand.
Praise the Lord. Thank you, Madam Bukola. Am I correct? Yeah. I'm happy to be here today on this workshop. Just a few questions about the content creations and digital marketing email. Do we have some challenges while we assessing these courses? So, just general challenges so that we can navigate through and be successful. Yeah. So that's one. What were your own major challenges so that we can learn from there? Thank you.
Please, do we have another question? Okay, maybe as I answer this question, you have more questions. Let me do it that way. How many minutes more do I have? Or I should just continue? 3 minutes. Okay, let's see. So what are my challenges? Internet. This country, God will help us. So they don't give you job. They don't give you anything. And then you buy internet with your money. Voila. There are times that I will have to deliver a job. I would have told the client, don't worry, it's beans. So I will sleep. I will tell the client I will deliver in 3 days. So the first day I will just relax. It's a simple work. I can do that in 2 minutes. The second day I will now start. This internet will not work throughout the day. From Ete, I will buy MTN again. Throughout the day, 2 of them will not work. And if you work, Lord, have mercy. I think my major challenge so far is internet. Maybe if internet is out of it, then what other maybe lights. Sometimes 3 days they will say the light has problem. That was why I had to go and buy solar, actually. But then the solar I bought, for my own level. Sometimes I use it, but sometimes this season actually is raining season, and there's no sun. So I don't know really. Is something really happening to Nigeria? They don't give you job, and then you are trying to make it. They will still. But I know that where there is a will, there is a way. I always still find my way. So those are just the 2 challenges I have. Internet and light. I bought solar, but well, it's better now, but it's still not okay. God will have mercy on Nigeria. Do we have any other question for me? Okay. Okay, can you?
Good morning. Thank you very much, Mrs. Bukola. So, as regards you having challenges, I wanted to ask, are there ever times when you have issues with generating ideas, like you just do not know what to do about a particular topic? So how do you sort that out?
Okay, before I answer that question, let me say what I want to say first. Ideas. That's one of those things I will teach you, how to generate ideas. To be a writer, you don't need to know jack. but you need to know where to get your ideas. So there are ways around it. There are ways around. You can't be stranded. There are lots of ways you can get ideas. Don't worry, I will show you the runs. I'll show you what I do. Okay, so lastly, I would encourage us, please, if you have sisters, brothers, and that would really benefit from this. People are suffering in this country, I'm telling you. You know, dollar has really risen now. I think it's going to 1.5 now. So, so if it's going to reach 1.5, I don't know. Some 3 weeks ago, an economics has already, I think that's when it was still 900. Some economists have already forecasted it. So if you know people, your family members, if you are not interested, but you have family members, you know, your sister just gave birth and she's at home, please let her be earning dollars from home. You can introduce this course to them. Let them, for now, I think the church is giving it out free. So let them grab this opportunity. If you want to learn, you cannot pay less than 100K. Web design that I learned, I know how much I paid. So please, let's not take this opportunity lightly. If you're not going to learn it at the end of the day, please introduce somebody that you know would learn it, and let's populate God's kingdom. Hallelujah. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. Let's give her a round of applause. All right, thank you so much, Ba. So before we continue, I'd like someone to share something they learned from this. So for me, you know, there's this myth about you can sleep and be making money. She said no. And there's this also another thing she talked about, that in 1 week, you start cashing out. She said, forget it. So any other thing, somebody should share? I'm going for you. Any lesson you want to share with us? Yes. You're not expecting.
Sorry, like, is it about what she said or something?
What she said, yes. What you learned or what resonated with you?
I think I learned a lot. Maybe because I'm not really, my mind is actually made up of what I want to really do. I think it's, it looks like something that one can do and one should be able to make good money. Yeah. If one can put in the work. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Let's give him a round of applause. So diligence is something she also talked about. You have to be diligent. It's not something you will learn today and dump, then in 1 week again, you come back to it. You can't excel, to be honest. I don't think there's any field that you can be playing around with and do very well. So because of our time, I'm going to be inviting the next speaker. So after now, we're going to be having a panel section to ask the speakers questions. So in case you have any question, you can write it down so you don't forget. You don't have to make up your mind yet. It's just one person. There are still several people coming to talk about different courses. So, in person of Adeleke Adekola, is a data analyst at SAND, a global technology service company. It supports scale-up around the world to develop world-class technology by providing top-tier tech talent globally. It uses Excel, R, Python, SQL, and Power BI to analyze data. It performs data wrangling, exploratory data analysis, and visualizing, and it delivers insights and recommendations to clients and stakeholders. With great joy in our hearts, join me as I welcome Mr. Adeleke Adekola to the stage. Thank you. Let's keep clapping until he gets here. All right, thank you.
Let me start by saying I appreciate the organizer of this program, the Church of God, and everyone present right now. I won't say I'm kind of nervous right now, but trust me, I have a lot in here to talk about. But, you know, within the time frame, I don't know how I can put everything together so that you can understand what I want you to get from this particular orientation. But I will make it as short as possible and as informative as possible. So let me start by saying, okay, my name is Adeleke Adekola, like she said, and I'm a data analyst with SAND Technologies. Okay, let me start by telling you what data analytics is. You'll be hearing of data analytics, data science, data engineering, what again? Data mapping, data everything. But more blessed people, they make money for this thing. Oh. Yes, people are actually making money from it. But there's another thing you need to consider as well, which is if people are coming to this field because of the money, because of the skills, because of what to do in the new community, like, I don't know challenges. I don't know, like, is it that simple? Is it something one can just start in a day and, yeah, I'm a data analyst. Trust me, there is so much to do. But when I say so much to do, it's not something complicated that you can't find your way around it. So that's where I will have to start by telling you one thing you have to understand. And once you have this as a basic knowledge, trust me, data is something as easy as anything. You have to understand that whatever you do every day, you are generating data. Whatever thing you are doing, waking up, probably you wake up by 8 today. Okay, Monday morning you are going to work, you wake up 6 to do whatever thing you want to do. You get home by 8 p.m., you do whatever you want to do, you go to bed by 10. If you put all those things into documentation, you are generating data. At the end of the week, probably on Friday, on Saturday morning, my Monday to Friday, I wake up so time, I sleep so time, I eat so time. You can from there understand how you've existed for the past 5 days. You can know, this last week, did I make any progress? Was it productive? Like, what did I do wrong? From the data you've recorded, you can actually know that, I'm making progress with my life, I'm not making progress with my life. Then you know what needs to do. Trust me, that is the same thing companies out there are doing. That's why they need you as a data analyst. That's why they need you as a data scientist. They want to know, we have social products, we have this, we have that. Are we actually making sales? Like, we invested over ₦1 million in this particular project. We had to realize 1.5, but now it seems we are making a loss. What's happening? They need someone to analyze their data. That is where you come in. That is, like, all you just have to do is you need to understand the basics. That this is data analytics. This is you analyzing the data. Once you understand that, what you are doing is, I have my data, I need to find my insights and tell them the story behind it, which will take me to the next thing right now, and that is, and that is telling you what data analytics is. When you're talking about data analytics, you're talking about you collecting your data, analyzing it, and interpreting the data for whosoever is in need of it, which might be your stakeholders or like the company you are working for, or even for yourself. Sometimes you might record data just to help your life, help your development. And in the process of you collecting this data, there are some other things involved. In the process of you analyzing, there are some other things involved. In the process of you trying to find your insight in it, there are some other things involved as well, which you have to understand. And trust me, data will give you the money you want. If you are going because of the money, it's fine. Take it that way, yes. Because you can act, like she said with digital marketing, you can as well be at home and work remotely. You can even be working with 5, 6 companies if you know your way around. Yeah, that's the fact about it. But companies will only employ you if you know what you are doing. If I employ you as a data analyst and the first month you are not delivering, there's no reason to retain you now. Please, excuse us. But if I see that you have that skill, that thing that differentiates you from others, come on, even if you want me to pay you more, please, just do this for me, as long as you are putting what I want on the table. And now, for you to understand more about this data analytics, I would like you to do your own personal research. When I started data analytics, I started with a scholarship. And it wasn't like, and that was the first mistake I made then. I was like, I told my brother, this scholarship, you want me to take a course. There is IoT, that's Internet of Things. There is cybersecurity, there is data analytics, and the rest. Which one should I go for now? Like, help me, you do markets, I beg. You're like, blessing our data, they hot now. Just go for this data. I was like, I jumped on it. when like my counselor then was like, okay, how do you want to give about this? I was like, I'm on data. For I think my first 2-3 months studying data analytics, I didn't understand shit. Like, I didn't understand anything. I was just like, I was thinking, normal data and statistics now. To be sincere with you, it's still the same thing. But it's just that the logic is different. I don't know if you understand. I didn't do my research. I didn't do anything. I just jumped on data, 90 That's where people are making money from. Trust me, it doesn't work that way. If you want to choose a particular tech track, do your research. Know what you are going into. Know what it takes. And there's one particular thing that I think it's to my own advantage. I love statistics. I love math. I won't lie to you. Some of us, we really want to do coding. Some of us don't like coding. We don't like, math, I don't like it. Yes, there are some tech tracks that does not need you to be a maths pro or understand so much about maths, which you can actually go into. But trust me, if you're going to be a data analyst, you need maths. Because you must actually know if 1 + 1 is equals to 2. You must know when to add your 2 + 2 to be 4. You need to know when to add your 4 + 4 to be 8. Those are the things you need as a data analyst. And trust me, you can't say you want to be a data analyst and not be a critical thinker. You need to think like, I'm not saying you need to think so wide that, like your brain explodes, but you need to like, sir, have you realized that maybe we have some customers, they do come to this organization, but after a while, they don't come again. Like, probably it's not our product. What if it's our attitude towards them? Sometimes what you need to analyze might not be numeric stuff. It might just be something abstract, something different from the mathematics. You think, maybe everything wrong with this company is about 1 + 1 + 2 + 3, which might not be the case. You just need to you have to observe to know that, okay, this is what is actually wrong. That's why you need to understand what you are going into. And you have to find your passion in it. Even if you are going because of the money, still find a reason why you are doing this. I love math, I love stats, yes. But when I started, I didn't know until I was like, okay, data analytics now, data science. I want to be a data scientist too. I'm like, now when you sit on your profile, I'm a data scientist, I'm a data analyst. That job I want to go for. I want to be a web developer. I'm a cloud developer, app developer. The name sounds so good, like you want to become one. But you need to know what's like the foundation. What exactly do you want to even do? If I start calling you app developer now, what do you do as an app developer? You need to like do your research. It is then that you can know, okay, this particular field, yes, I know I will do well. The moment my tutor then was able to break it down for me, because I had to come out straight, sir. You have been talking about this. I've just been trying to do as if I know it. I don't know it, sir. I'm just like, so all these things we'll be talking about, you don't, sir, I don't know it. I'm just, when you talk about data cleaning, I don't know what data cleaning is. I don't know. I was like, then you need to even know what this is all about. Now let me paint a scenario. As a data analyst, what do you do? Let's say there is a company now that, let's say a supermarket, and in this supermarket, they realize that, okay, let's say there are some goods. They don't just, it can be there for 2-3 months. But on a particular month, people will just start rushing it. After that month again, people will abandon it. Now they need to know what is wrong with that particular product. They need to know why are people getting this product in this particular month and they don't get it in other months. That is where you come in as a data analyst. Now you bring the data. Okay, what month of the year do people always rush these goods? December time. Nice, no, it is festive period. Then what's the name of that product? Let's say maybe all these Christmas lights, Christmas tree, all these balloon and the rest. Now you know, as a company, I'm just telling you, during your analysis, those are the kind of insights you pull out. That, okay, now if you have to give your feedback to the company now, as a company, this kind of products, we don't need to put so much on them from January to November. So when we know that it's December time, that is our time to sell this product. That is when we can now bring it in. But if we have so much in stock from January to December, some might even be bad before December. You are actually helping that company. So they're not okay for this particular, and for that particular product, it won't just be like you have expired products. I don't know if you understand. So you as a data analyst, you need to help your organization to bring insights, to tell them that, okay, this is actually true, this is wrong. That's one thing I want you to know, that as you as a data analyst, you have to put on your board, like, okay, things I have to do. So another thing I have here is, just a minute, please. Okay, in the process of collecting your data, the next thing you have to do is you need to clean it. When I say data cleaning, it took me a while before I understood data cleaning. I was like, how data, they take data again now, why we should be cleaning? But when I understood the cleaning part, normally, I know most of us, we are familiar with Excel, and we know we always input the data in Excel, we do stuff like that. Trust me, you know there are some situations whereby when you have 102, in data, it might not be numeric. Like, you can have 102 and it won't be numeric. Numeric in the sense that it's not something you can add up. Yes. They might, because now, let's say, coming in now, you are trying to register. We might try to assign numbers to you as your ID, not as a figure. So if you have 101, 102, if we're not trying to count the number of people present for that particular event, we're not going to sum up the number. The number is acting as a name, not as a number. So it's not something you can add up. So when you're talking about data cleaning now, there are some information you have in your column row that are not meant to be calculated. But during your analysis, you won't know. So that's why you have to do your data cleaning, and that's, trust me, when it comes to data analytics, that's the most stressful part of your work. Because by the time you collect, you see, collecting data and cleaning your data, that is, you can spend 70% of your time on that. The remaining 30% to analyze is very simple. So because when your data is clean, when everything is clean, you are good to go. You know where the problem is coming from. You can visualize, analyze, then okay, interpret to whoever is getting the report from you. But if your data is bad, you can make silly mistakes. You can even tell whoever is getting your report things that are not supposed to be. Okay, now, I heard of a story back then, which I tried confirming. There was a time Coca-Cola made a mistake about a particular product. I think it was in the 90s. Yeah, it's like producing a new product, a new brand, and they were like, okay, this brand, are you sure people is going to like it? Let's create a survey. Let's do a survey. Let's see people's reaction to this particular brand. Okay, Mr. I, do you like this particular brand? Okay, after drinking, yeah, it's fine. Asking the second person, it's fine. The third person, it's fine. We're like, oh, I think everyone likes this product. They had to bring it to the market. After bringing the product to the market, like, they were making losses from that particular product. But we did our survey now. People's reaction to this product, they loved it, and it was, so what's really happening? It was like, okay, so we need someone to review this data for us. What actually happened? Do you know where the problem came from? They made the mistake of asking people that, do you like this product? Which the result they got then was, yes, 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 yes. They did not ask that, do you prefer it to the one we had before? You can be a lover of Fanta, but you prefer Coke. Or no, let me put it this way. If you like soda, you can prefer Pepsi to Coke. It's not that Coke is bad to you. You can drink Coke if there is no alternative. But if you have Coke, you have Pepsi, you rather go for Pepsi. I don't know if you understand. So there are some things that when you are collecting your data, there might be mistakes. Sometimes you are trying to press 2. There was probably typo error and 22222. But you didn't realize that mistake, and now you kept on filling the form. So when you are trying to analyze, that 2222 is going to affect the phone. That's what we call something like outliers. There's a way you need to filter those out. Those are the parts of the data cleaning. Trust me, you see this data analytics work, it's something you enjoy doing it. But there are challenges as well. You will get frustrated at some point. But with each frustration comes joy. You know why? By the time you are able to decode something, this is where I've been making mistake. Or after connecting with your friend, and as data analyst, you can't be working alone. You can't. I will get to that part. So after decoding the whole thing, you'll be like, okay, this is it. You want to try something else. And I always tell my friends, like, if something should for you as a data analyst, like a particular, maybe you don't know how to import a particular data, probably from your CSV or any database. Like you don't know how to import it, maybe web scrubbing or whatever place you are bringing your data from. And you're able to do it, like, okay, this CSV file, I can't upload it, I can't import it to my Python, to my Jupyter Note. And at the point, like, you try doing it, like, in another dimension, and you're able to do it. Trust me, that's a success. If you are to import another CSV, it won't take you time to import again, because you have the way you entered your coding. So you need another challenge to bring you down. And the more you get the challenges, trust me, the more you are improving. Another sweet thing about data analytics is, like I said earlier, you can work with different companies. You can make your money anywhere, and with what is even happening right now, you can be at home and be earning in dollars. Upwork is there. Fiverr is there. There are more, like your LinkedIn, you can actually get contracts, like reach out to companies. Trust me, you will enjoy this course if it's what you think you can do. But before you start the journey, check yourself. Am I ready to do this? Do I love maths? I don't lie about that, please. They will say, if you need to understand maths, yes, 1 + 1. It's not like you need to understand the concrete divide, yes. No. The basics. Mathematics, 1 + 1, 2 + 2, know when it's applicable. There are sometimes you even need to go beyond 1 + 1, 2 + 2. But always know that it's something you can reach out to someone, and that is where networking comes in. You have to network. Network with your colleagues, with your friends. Like, even by the time you start, there's no way you will see someone to, like, relate with. This part of data, I don't understand. What is data integrity? What does it mean? I don't, like, can you please explain to me? Go online, ChatGPT is there, and the way data is right now, data is so wide. That's why you have data analytics, data science, you have ML, which is machine learning, you have AI, you have database management, and the rest. But all of this is still under one umbrella, which is you need to understand why you are going into this field. You need to understand that whatever decision you make to be a data analyst, stand on it, and trust me, challenges will come. Bad network, like you said, for the digital marketing. Maybe you need to upload something, you need to download the software. Data issue, what again? Probably you might run a code right now, wake up in the morning, try to run the code again, it won't go. Stuff like that. But trust me, those are like stepping stones to success, which you as a person will enjoy. And what I have as the last thing, which I think you should use as a takeaway, is sorry, please. Okay, I always get this question because I was talking to someone, I think 2 days ago, and the person was like, data analytics. If I study this course now, where will I work? I don't like that question. You know why? It's just like saying, if I become a doctor, where will I work? I'm like, you can work anywhere. See, you can work as a data analyst, data scientist, data engineer, and mention the place. As long as they are generating data. And so, like, if you look around, everyone is generating data. Even the Church of God is generating data. As we are right now, we can say, okay, let's count the number of boys to girls, man to woman, guys to ladies. We can actually know, okay, we have the number that is more than this. You're analyzing. But it entails more which you can only achieve that with your decision. And I hope, like with little I've said, trust me, you want to choose your path in data analytics. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's give him a round of applause. Okay. All right. How many of us want to learn data something? Nobody. He just said, with this few points of mine, I hope I've been able to convince you and not confuse you that you should learn data science, analytics. Who is going for that course? Oh, thank God. Let's give her a round of applause. So now, because she's going for the course, you share with us why you decided to go for the course. What did you learn? What interested you in that course? Thank you. Yes, you have to talk.
Okay, even before now, I have this big side for the course. No, not because my friend is actually a data analyst or something like that. I'm this kind of person. I love gathering data, and I love actually working on them. I actually worked as like a school buster one certain time like that, and it's actually my thing to calculate, to analyze. But why I'm actually here was because I can't actually do it like on their own ground, though I have my way. I am like from the beginner side, but I don't know deep about data analysis. That's just it.
I believe that attending, let's give a round of applause. Attending the training will give you that insight. Thank you so much, Mr. Ademola. So right about now, I'll be moving to the next speaker in the person of Toby Emmanuel. He is an art director and graphic designer with about 4 years experience in advertising and marketing. There's something about this advertising and marketing. He has served on teams for Access Bank, Diego, First Land, Capina, to mention a few. He's currently branching out as a startup with his brainchild, Amrek Solutions. Sorry if I didn't pronounce that well. An advertising and marketing agency. With great joy in our heart, let's give Mr. Toby Emmanuel a round of applause as he comes here. Let's not stop until he gets here. Thank you. Let's keep it higher. Sorry. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity. Thanks for the honor. I count it as an honor to stand in front of bright minds like each and every one of us present. I am Toby Emmanuel. I am an art director and a graphic designer. And I've worked in 3 agencies in the space of 4 years as an art director, providing creative solutions for different brands, which few have been mentioned. So I'm just here to introduce you to the concept graphic design and UI UX. So what is graphic design? What is graphic design? Graphic design in a layman's term is visualizing information, bringing information, everything that can be information in any sort of way, probably mostly in audio because information is mostly passed through words. Now bringing those informations into visuals, giving them a visual representation, that is graphic design. Bringing information into visuals, giving information visual representations. Now, giving information visual representation can be for different purposes. It can be for marketing purposes, advertising purposes, PR purposes, just communicating purposes. It can be for there are different purposes why you want to pass a particular information. So that is the end part of it. But the major part of it is giving information, a visual representation, and that is what graphic design is. Do you understand that? Do you understand that? So an example of a visual representation, I don't know if anybody can give me anyone from what I've said so far. Example of visual representation flyer. Example of visual representation, logo. Another example of visual representation, color. So that is like things that we probably have seen. You probably have seen a particular kind of logo, and you'll be wondering, what does this represent? That's communicated to you. If you see a Coca-Cola logo, you already know it's Coca-Cola. They are communicating to you their brand. If you see Coca-Cola logo with the Coca-Cola font, and you just see Coca-Cola logo with probably written in any kind of, you probably know Arial, right? I believe you know Arial font. It's going to pass two different informations to you. Yes or no? Okay, let me repeat that. If you see the Coca-Cola logo the way it is, the way you know it, and you see Coca-Cola, C-O-C-A-C-O-L-A, written in Arial font or Calibri, it's going to pass two different information to you, right? You would understand that this one is a company because you know it as a company, right? And this other one, you'll be wondering, you'll probably be lost what they're trying to say or something with that one. So that is an example of to prove the importance of graphic design to, our everyday life, giving visual representation to information. One particular purpose or generic purpose for graphic design is communicating, and that is what there are different varying school of thoughts when it comes to this purpose for graphic design. But I believe it all boils down to communicating. If whatever you are designing, whatever you are putting out there as a visual representation, is not communicating, I don't think you've done a good job. Now, I said there are different varying school of thought to this because some people just want to do graphic design just to express their feelings, but I believe that falls under the arts school of thought, like art section. So there's a difference between art and graphic design. Art, if you go to art galleries now and probably taking you to the different artworks on the wall, the artist will probably be explaining them to you that this represents blah, 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 this represents, giving them their own meaning that, So that is art. You are trying to express yourself in a particular form of, way through painting or whatever. Graphic design is different. Graphic design is, it's supposed to solve a problem. It's not supposed to be based on how you feel. That's the difference between graphic design and art. It's not based on you feel like using red, or you feel like using green, or you feel like using this type of fonts. It's not a feeling. There are principles to it. So that is why it is different from art. So a basic purpose, ground level purpose for any graphic design, any form of graphic design that you are doing is communicating. It has to communicate. It has to communicate. So if you are still considering, okay, what do I want to do? Do I want to actually venture into this graphic design? You have to have a thing for communicating, a thing for trying to pass across information to people. I wanted to study mass communication in school. I knew that I'd loved computers from a very young age, but I knew that I had something for communicating, either through news reading, writing, whatsoever it is. I just love to communicate. So I wanted to study mass communication in school, but unfortunately I couldn't, and I was given a course, public administration, which I eventually studied and came out. But I still knew that I wanted to do communicating. Eventually I was able to learn graphic design because I already had a computer and I was already computer savvy. So graphic design, I enrolled a course. I saw a course, enrolled into it, and I really enjoyed it because it's helped me communicate. I like to see that, okay, you want to communicate this. How can I represent this to people that when they see it, they understand it? How can I represent this particular information that I'm trying to communicate to people that when they see it, they understand it? And it is not ambiguous. It is not, they're not trying to crack their head around it. They're not trying to decode it. It's simple, plain, but yet, still communicate. And that is the arts of graphic design. So, do you understand what I've said so far? Is it clear? Any questions so far? Okay, so next question, I'm asking myself questions to, I don't have what's it called, a slide. So the next question I have here is, what do I do as a graphic designer? I think I've touched on it already. You communicate, you help to pass information, you help to create visual representations to informations so that those visual representations can pass those information, communicate those information to people visually so that they can see it and understand the information. Am I confusing anybody? Okay, thank you. What do I need to start a graphic design career? What you need to start a graphic design career is a laptop, basically. A laptop. A laptop, what kind of laptop? Not just any other laptop. Advisably, it depends. This is now subject to your preference, your pockets, and what have you. But basically, you need a good laptop that can run graphic design softwares. Major graphic design softwares that we use are Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Photoshop, CorelDRAW too, but Illustrator does the work of CorelDRAW, so you may not really need CorelDRAW. So, but majorly those two, Illustrator and Adobe Photoshop, majorly those two. So if you have a good system a good laptop that can run the application, you can, venture into the graphic design skill. Another thing that you also need is an eye for organization, visual organization, an eye for visual. Like, this can be developed, but if you have it naturally, it's an advantage. I love things to be visually organized. Like, as I'm seeing that board at the back now, I'm already looking at, why is this paper not aligned with this paper? I like things to be visually pleasing. If I'm coming down this aisle now and I'm looking at these chairs that stacked there, why is this one inside? Why is this one outside? Like, my brain just naturally works that way. So it's an advantage for me. It can also be learned because it is a principle in design, which is called alignment, hierarchy. So it can be learned if, you don't have it naturally, but those are just basic natural things that could help you, in the graphic design career. Alignment, hierarchy, an eye for, visually pleasing things. And what are the opportunities the career gives? The career gives money-making opportunities. So the thing with graphic design is, if graphic design boomed in Nigeria in around 2012, 2015, there was a boom in Nigeria. It became very saturated, right? And since then, it is still experiencing growth, and it is because of the opportunity to make money through the skill. The skill it's easy to learn. It's not hard. It's easy. It's the type, apply color, draw square, draw rectangle, draw circles. They are very basic, but it takes efforts to be exceptional in them. And like the last speaker said, it is your exceptionality, if there's a word like that, in them that makes you successful in them. That makes, I don't know if you want to do it as a career or as a side gig to just be making, $100, $50, here and there. Whatever way you want to, it is your exceptionalism, in it that makes you stand out. So it's very easy to do. They are like people that I know. I'm not a millionaire yet, but I know people that are, fending off of this. Like, they are running their whole lifestyle is through graphic design. Of course, it's going to take time. It's not as if once you learn it like this, in 3 weeks or in 1 month or in 2 months, you have started cashing out and all that. No. If I sold that to you, that would be a fallacy. So it's going to take your dedication, it's going to take your commitment to it also, commitment to it. One thing for me is commitment. If you are committed to something, like if you don't want to do something, don't even start it. Like, don't even start it. I have a question, huh? Okay. If you don't want to do something, don't even start it. Like, just understand it. Like, probably you don't even know if to do it or not to do it. What you can just do is, okay, check, like, the way I'm introducing it to you now, is it if I'm not even giving you enough information, you can go online, check introduction to graphic design, watch YouTube tutorials on it or YouTube videos on it, and see if it's something that, okay, yes, I would like to. If you wouldn't like to, just, okay, I'll pass on this, and, probably look for a better choice. But if it's something that you're going to decide that, okay, I love commitment, like, okay, all right, thank you. I love commitment. So commitment is going to help you in a very long way. Commitment to the cause. And with that, trust me, the sky is your starting point. All right, so I think that's all from me. Any question? Any question? Any question? Any question? Any question? Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. I forgot I was supposed to. Okay, so thank you for asking that question. UI UX. UI UX simply stands for user interface and user experience. So UI UX is different from graphic. Let me use the word difference doesn't I think work there. It's under graphic design, but it is so broad, right, that it has a section of its own under graphic design. So what is UI UX? UI UX is, like I said, user interface and user experience. What you see, if you hold your phone now and you open your lock screen, what you see is an interface, right? What you are seeing is an interface. If you open your laptop, on your computer, what you see is an interface, right? And you are the user. That is what? User interface. Now, what you experience while using that product, a laptop, a phone, or that software, or that application, is user experience. Like, when you clicked on this icon, this home icon, where it took you to, how long did it take you to get there, what you saw there, those are the experiences. Like, experience is not visual again. It is, I don't know the word now, but yeah, it's a feeling. Exactly. You are feeling like you are feeling what you are touching. If you touch this on the screen, this is what happens. Like it is sensual now. Yeah, it is more sensual. Are you experiencing stress? Is it difficult? Is it seamless? That is the user experience part. So the user interface part is the visual representation of what you are seeing. If you open your Microsoft Word now, there is file, insert, there are different menus at the top. There's another bar with fonts, bold, like different sections, different columns. Those are like what you're seeing is an interface, and it is visually like pleasing. You can work with it. That is what UI UX does. Designing those things is the job of a UI UX designer. So it is under graphic design in the sense that graphic design is broad. Like, I introduced myself as an art director and graphic designer. Art direction is under graphic design. Graphic design is both, like I said, graphic design is giving a visual representation to a particular information. Anything you are doing to give a visual representation to information is graphic designing. Now, under graphic design, there are different aspects. Art direction, marketing designer. There are some people that the only thing that you can design is social media carousels, social media posts, and so there are different aspects of graphic design. But UI UX now is now very broad, and it is booming currently, and it's still currently very booming, very attractive, because it is very broad. With the rise of technology, there's a need for more softwares. There's a need for more applications. So because of a need for more softwares, more applications, it is now a niche on its own that, if you venture it, it's also a very lucrative aspect of graphic design. So do you understand what UI UX is now? Any other question? All right, thank you very much.
Let's give him a round of applause. So how many of us have seen flyers and you're like, what is this? Flyers, and they're horrible. Like maybe the colors, so many colors. You can't even read it. And you're like, where's the link? They're like, the link is there. You have to go through it and all of that. So those people are digital, what do they call themselves? Graphic designers. But I mean, there are levels to these things. How do we become experts and professional at doing it? Not just arranging colors together like you're doing, I don't know. All right, so I'd like to ask this question from the house generally. What skill are you looking at learning that you've not heard? What particular skill are you looking forward to hearing that you have not? So I'll ask about 3 people. Is there any skill you're particularly looking out for? Any skill? Yes, we've talked about digital marketing. We've talked about graphic design, UI, UX, and data. So, and just say to the mic, what are you looking out for?
I'm just looking out for programming.
Okay. What about you, sir? Any other skill you are looking out for?
No, my skill has already been talked about.
What's that?
Data analytics.
Oh, okay, nice one. I believe your own has been talked about because you disappeared for. Okay, what other skill are you looking out for here today?
Maybe full stack development.
All right, let's ask you, sir. What skill are you looking out for?
Okay, thank you. Business analytics and web creation and something like that. Yeah.
Sir, what about you, ma'am?
Email copywriting. I don't know if Mrs. Bukola talked about it because I came late.
Oh, sorry for coming late. She did already, and she won't be around to maybe still talk to you. But it's fine since you already have an idea of what you want to do, and it's recorded. We're live on YouTube and Facebook, so you can go back to check. I think that's a benefit. So to save time, we'll be moving to 3D animation. And the person taking that is the person of Professor Franklin. He's an IT guy turned artist and an aspiring animator himself. He currently specializes in making character-oriented artworks. And when not making art, he can usually be found enjoying works of art created by others, mainly anime. Many of us here are anime fans. They're not here. Oh, nice. And Western animations. He also can't help wanting to model things he finds cute. With great joy in our art, let's welcome Mr. Frank to the podium. Until he gets here, our normal style. Mr. Frank, we're expecting you. You're tired of clapping for him already. Anime fans, let's give him some. Wow, let's give him some. All right. Thank you.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Franklin Officer, and I've been invited to just say a brief word on 3D modeling and animation. Personally, like I said, I was an IT person, and about 5 years ago, during my internship, I discovered 3D modeling, and it was just like an interest, a hobby, and bit by bit, I noticed that most of my free times I was spent working on I started with architectural modeling for like over a year. That was what I was focused on, and as I learned more on it, I realized that though I liked architecture, I was more drawn to characters, creating characters, and that was what I go into. But if I were to start describing 3D modeling, it's a visual field. Trying to describe it with words might be a bit lacking. So I'm going to take advantage of like a demo reel showing you some things that are possible. And I'm going to ask the technical to help me with playing that video.
It's better than that.
That's Elo Wagtail, and she's in distress. There, my little Monticello flower.
Okay, so that's just like a short demo reel of the things that are possible of 3D modeling, and in particular the program used here is Blender. So basically 3D modeling is you are trying to create what we are all familiar with 2D sketching and drawing, which you do on a piece of paper, but 3D modeling introduced another axis, which is the Z-axis. So it's a bit closely related to reality, but sometimes reality, when you try to make reality entertaining, it could be a bit boring. So you can go into stylized modeling, which you try to make reality more stylized, more interesting. And if you go back, these are some of the projects I've worked on in the past few years. And so once it comes to 3D modeling now, there are multiple applications to. We have Maya, we have 3ds Max. But personally, if you're just starting out, especially in Nigeria here, I'll recommend starting with Blender. So I will say why go for Blender if we know we have all those other apps. The reason we go for Blender is the barrier to entry is very minimal. Most 3D modeling applications, they are paid for. Now, we are all Nigerians here. I'm sure sometimes some of us have downloaded pirated applications in times in our lives to do a thing or the other. And there are limitations to those applications because first of all, you're not legally acquiring them. The things you are making with those applications, you can't share them, because if you were to share them, if the developers were to see your work and they ask for your license or you don't have that, or if some have academical license, which if you're a student, they can give you the app to use for free. But the things you make with those licenses, and technically they're not a Mac, but with Blender, it's available both on Windows, on Mac, and on Linux. So it doesn't matter the operating system you're making use of. You can move from one operating system to the other. You can take your files, and it's cross-compatible. Also, the portability. With apps like Maya and the like, they are licensed, meaning if you install it on a particular system, for you to move to another system, you will have to either purchase another license, which is going to come at an extra cost, or you're going to have to get some agreements. But with Blender, you can simply copy the installer and your data file into a thumbstick, take it to another system. Like when I was learning, for example, I was using my personal laptop from school. It wasn't very powerful. So what I do, whenever I'm close to rendering, doing my final renders, my system cannot really handle those things. So I copy my files into a flash drive. At work, we have better desktops that can do what I need to. So I just copy my files. I go to a desktop, I plug it there, I leave it rendering while I'm doing other things at work. Now, some of you might say that since this app is free, is it possible to create something meaningful with an app that is free? Because we know when something is free or cheap, we expect it's not, you can't do something meaningful with it. It might be mediocre. But I'll tell you that that's not necessarily so. Going to the next slide, you'll see there's a series on Netflix, Next Gen. This is an animation that came out a few weeks ago. It's a full-length feature animation. The primary tool that was used for this animation was Blender. Yes, they add things like simulations and other likes. There are other applications that do that, but the primary application they used in creating this was with Blender. And also, if you're familiar with Into the Spider-Verse that released a few months ago, which was one of the when it comes to animations, released this year, it's one of the top animated movies that released this year. A 14-year-old kid in Canada was able to animate. If you are familiar with the Lego scene, this guy was a 14-year-old kid. He modeled and animated a scene in that movie using only Blender. At 14 years old, I didn't even know what a computer was at that moment. But thanks to an app that is free, that anyone could use, a 14-year-old kid was able to learn the app, was able to do something, and he posted it on. It was when the trailer of the movie came out. He recreated the trailer using Legos, as in digital versions of Legos. The producers saw it and they contacted him that they would like him to make a scene in that movie using those skills, and his parents supported him. They got him a better system that could handle what the movie needed, and he was able to create a scene in that movie. And from there now, it's like if you go to his Twitter followers, he has over 100,000 followers on Twitter just from doing something like this using Blender. But we're talking mostly about the international sphere. We can see these are the Canada's, but what about here in Nigeria? Is this possible for other Nigerians to do this? When I started in isolation, meaning I was doing my internship. I was working. I wasn't a social media person then, but people I was learning from, they were like, you have to post your works online. So I started. I revamped my Instagram and Twitter. I started posting online. There I found out that I was actually not the only Nigerian doing this. There were other Nigerian artists, some were 2D, some were 3D, who were even way better than myself doing this. And some examples, I'll show some examples on the screen now. This is Kenny Praise. You can see his location there. He's based in Port Harcourt, Nigeria. These are some of the works he has done using that same Blender application. He is mainly focused on character modeling, just like myself. Next up, we also have Obiaju. You cannot mistake this name for a foreign name. This is a Nigerian person. So these are the works that he has made. This is Instagram. His Instagram profile. These are some of the things he has made, also using Blender. Yes, sometimes uses ZBrush, but he mixes them. Like I said, I myself, I use ZBrush and Blender, but my primary tool of choice is Blender, because that was what I started with. Then also I have the next person on this list is Genesis Williams. He is a Lagos-based artist, and these are some of the works he has created. His works are, personally, I'm jealous of what he makes, because they're way better than even what I have been able to make in the past few years. And so occasionally we communicate on Twitter and Instagram. Okay, now you can see, you've seen that, okay, this is possible for individuals, maybe as a hobby or as a personal interest, but what about financially, as a business, as a career? Is it something that is feasible? On the next slide, how many of us here is familiar with these characters? Okay, I think after this slide, as a Nigerian, can you start a business? How many of us here are familiar with these characters behind the screen? I remember then when I was in secondary school, everybody had a phone then, had these videos with these guys looking for signal, and when they saw signal, started dancing about. These were made by two Nigerian guys. I think when they were in school. This was like 10 years ago now, and this is what they look like then. Now, if you go for this is what they look like now. And they started a company called Orange VFX, which make advertisement for. I'm sure if you watch GSTV, you're familiar with these two guys. Most of their packages are they're like the mascot characters for them. It was created by two Nigerians. Now they have a studio called Orange VFX, and they make adverts and the likes for not just even GSTV. Recently, Indomie did some things with them, Indomitables. They are the ones that do the modeling, and they also make outsources of Chi, Arik, and some other companies. So this is their studio. This studio is actually based in Surulere. I think around the Masha side there about. That's where it's based in. I just found this out like sometime last year. I knew about them maybe when I was in school, but I was in a program on like a British something, and they told us about studios they were in Nigeria. And told us that I had something that was not far from me here in Surulere. And also besides them, we also have Ixom Studios. This one is based in, they are based in Ogun State. I was, sometime earlier this year, the owner of the, I'll get to you, your question. Sorry. Oh, okay, okay. Sometime earlier this year, the owner of the studio contacted me, like, I should just come visit their studio, and I went there to Ogun State, and it was surprising for me. Like I said, I had mostly done this in isolation, but going to a place where everyone there, they were all Nigerians, they were all artists. So not even artists, we had developers, because the Blender program, it's an application. They have developers in-house that develop tools that they use for their own pipelines, their own productions in-house, and it was a bit shocking for me seeing other Nigerians like myself working full-time, doing things like this. And going next up. Now, 3D modeling, it's a blanket term. It entails, like what my colleague has said, it's like graphics design. But this one, you're adding a third dimension to it, and it entails a plethora of fields,
we have from arts and sculpture making, which is what I focus on, digital sculpture that can later be animated and posed and the likes. We also have for entertainment, which we're all familiar with for animation, video games, or special effects, which they call them VFX and the likes. There is architecture. I started with architecture. Then what we do is, if you have the home plan that an architect drew, we can take that, we take it into a 3D modeling app like Blender, we map it. Then once we get the shapes and the likes, we can now go further to design it, giving a client like a close to reality view of what he will see once the building is completed. Now, it's not physically present, but with 3D, we can design things that are more close to reality. So the architect, maybe the developer, or even the homeowner that is planning to build the house can see what his building might look like once it's completed. He might say, okay, maybe he doesn't like this design. He can choose to change. That way, you are reducing costs, not after what you are doing is physically present. You know, okay, I don't like this, I want to change it. But with 3D modeling, you can give them like a view, a more close to reality view that they can see and choose to do. Also, we have medicine and healthcare. For example, I'm sure we are familiar with MRIs and the likes. Most of those things are tools, they are 3D modeling applications that image the body. They have like a 3D imaging of the body that can make, it can even make, say, surgeon's life easier. For example, you are going for surgery or something. Instead of the doctor doing an experiment on your body, they can have like a 3D scan of your entire body. They can plan how they want to do whatever they are going to do with a 3D, like a virtual model of the person, and they can now, if everything works fine, they can move it to reality. Also, for prosthetics, I've found there are some videos on YouTube of people who are missing some limbs, some parts of their fingers. With 3D modeling, they can model on prosthetics. With 3D printing, they can print out those prosthetics and they can have prosthetic arms without even having to visit the hospital or the legs. You just have they are available free of charge plans and schematics of prosthetics you can use. You can get the files, modify it to fit your own measurements, and you can print them out with 3D printers, and you can attach them to yourself. Also, we have the video games. I'm sure most of us are familiar with this. Most of the video games you play on your phone or the likes, the characters, the worlds, the environment, everything are all made in a modeling application, from the modeling to the texturing to the animation. And also, we have fashion. You might think this is weird, but especially for movies and video games, the accessories those characters are wearing, there are apps, 3D modeling apps that can take the 2D drawing which a stylist makes, the patterns that a stylist makes. It can be transferred into 3D, and those 3D patterns can be used to create a more close to reality clothing on a virtual character. So most high-end movies and the likes, that's what they use. There's an app called the Marvelous Designer. They use that to model clothes and accessories for characters in video games, and even fashion designers, some more prominent fashion designers, they before bringing the materials or the designs to life, they can test it out in 3D, see how it works, see how the material flows, and go on. It's a very broad theme. So if it's something you want to enter, you can maybe you want to be an architectural designer, a visualizer, a character animator, it's broad. So you personally, you find what interests you. Like I started with it because I saw a 3D render of a donut actually. 3D render of a donut. I was like, okay, this looks interesting. I went into the comments and I was directed to a YouTube video on how to create that same donut. And that was what I was watching. And over time, I went into architecture. And as I learned more, I figured, okay, this is fun. What I was really interested, I was seeing animations and characters that people were making, and that was really pulling me into. I can see that my time is almost up, so let me just. Round up. Now, what do you need to get started? This is you can't do this on your phone. Yeah. Now, technology is getting better. If you have an iPad, for example, there are 3D sculpting applications that you can do on your iPad. But for now, if you want to do 3D modeling, you have to have a computer. Like Blender, they have like a minimum requirements of at least a computer that meets some of these minimum requirements before you can run the application. You have maybe at least a 5th generation Core i3, maybe 8 gigabytes of RAM. You're also going to need a mouse that has at least 3 buttons, because you are navigating 3D space in a 2D screen. So you need an accessory that can help you navigate that. Personally, I use a graphics tablet because I noticed that over time I get strained using the mouse for a long period of time. So I use a graphics tablet to work. But what's happening? Okay. So these are just like the minimum requirements of what you will need to get started in doing 3D animation. And this is just like a brief definition about it. You start from a block out, you refine over time. You clothe the character, you add texture and colors and everything. You can add make it like a pet or anything like. So it's you start from primitive shapes, and over time you refine them until you get your final character that can then be used for other things, maybe for advertisement, for personal animations, and the like. So thank you for listening to my TED talk. And if there are any questions, well, my time seems to be already be up.
All right, let's give him a round of applause. Do you have any question for him? Any question? Okay. Thank you. We'll be moving to the. Thank you so much. Let's give him a round of applause again. We'll be moving to the next speaker right now, because of time. The person is Mr. Oyekachi Titus. He's a creative and result-oriented full-stack developer with 5 years extensive experience in all stages of web development, UI/UX design. He's knowledgeable and experienced in the user interface testing and debugging process. He's also a video editor, and he has expertise in the design, installation, testing, and maintenance of web system, and many other things. He has technical expertise in a number of areas, including HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and many more. With great joy in my heart, join me as I welcome Mr. Oyekachi Titus. Thank you. Let's give him a round of applause to get here. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Oyekachi. She has said everything already. So I'm going to be teaching us video editing, and so I'm going to be taking on video editing and video editing 101, an introduction to editing videos. So I'll probably put on my presentation. So I just want to thank the leadership for giving me this opportunity to be able to come up here to speak on this topic. So basically my time is going to be more of interactive sections and all that. So what I'm going to be telling us all about is if you're a content developer and a vlog, a social media person, this is also important for you because most of the content you create are majorly video content. For probably you're working for an organization, you're working for yourself, you have a business. So you need video editing, basically. It's very important. Like, I'm so sure we know CapCut, InShot. Those are like mobile video editors we can actually use to edit our videos. Anyways. Okay, so, sorry please. Sorry, technical issues. Okay, so it's going to be more interactive, like I said. So how many of us have a smart mobile phone here? You have smart mobile phones, yes. So already everybody here is an editor already, a video editor. It's just that you don't want to go an extra mile to probably edit. How many of us have gone to occasions where we take videos? Like I see this brother here now, he's taking video shoot, which is very fine. Thank you. So what I'm trying to say is everybody here can edit video. Everybody here can take video shots, like shots, basically. It's just that we've not been able to go the extra miles to do it. Okay, so I just want to copy so we can all follow. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Sorry, guys. Okay. I don't want to start here, so if there's something I want to probably elaborate more. So, well, everybody has mobile phone here. You can edit your videos, you can shoot videos. So there's so many things we can do with a mobile phone. You don't need a camera, you don't need a camcorder camera before you can be a video editor. There's a video here that I have that was shot with a mobile phone, a short film. I have it here, so I'm going to play it. So once the plug and is showing, I'm going to play it. This is my next slide. So we can see what a mobile phone did. So that's a video. That's one of the things you can do with your mobile phone, basically. Okay, so let me start with introduction. So the editing phase or post-editing phase is... Yes, thank you. So let's go to the next slide, please. How many of us can say this? Can you say this? So I'll probably be doing short reading, then explain. Do we understand? So basically, this is plenty of grammar, but to summarize what this is the post-editing phase is before you shoot a video, you should write down what you want to, like the whole creative of what you want to achieve, basically. So there are stages of video editing. Stages like, okay, costumes, what are we using for these shoots? What are we using for after the shoots? How are we going to edit the videos? How many minutes is the video that we want to shoot? Do you understand? That's a summary of what this place is talking about. Do you understand? Okay, so I'm going to play the next slide, please. The short video, so you can see the 2-minute video. Just play. So it's just a short film. So it gets to a point where I will stop and I'll go to the next slide so we can move. This was shot with a mobile phone and was edited with Premiere Pro. Easy to go. Like I said before, as a content creator, like they call it vlog. I know most of us do vlog of where we visit what we want to do as content creators. This was shot with a mobile phone. And this is just barely like 2-3 minutes and was edited. Yes. Shocking, right? Yes. In fact, it was shot with iPhone 6. iPhone 6 Plus, yes, that's what it was shot with. It was shot like 3 years ago. Yes. Okay, so let's move on. So let's go to the next slide, please. Okay, so what to consider before starting a video editing? So like I said before, there are things you need to consider before starting to edit a video. The editing process begins before you ever fire up your computer and editing software. Playback, please let me remove the playback. Okay, thank you. Okay, so your computer, so the editing process begins before you even fire up your computer and editing softwares. Think about what your edits will need while you are shooting. Before you think about your edits before shooting. Like I said before, these are the processes like before you start shooting. What are the things you want to achieve? Like for instance now, there's a way we can shoot a video of us here now. Most people will not even know that we're few. There's a way we can actually arrange ourselves. Everybody sits, occupy these 2 rows of chairs, and we can shoot a video that when somebody says, you think like this place is full. Do you understand? So that's what this is saying. You need to sit down, think about what you want to do first before you start shooting. Did you get? Make a plan via a short list. I do list of things before I start implementing them one by one. What kind of shots do you want to do? What angles do you need? Do you understand? Okay, so next slide, please. I'm just going to be rushing. So still on what to consider before you start editing videos. Shoot enough edits well. So what this is saying is, so I don't know how many of us, okay, if you're a church member here, probably when we shoot, there's sometimes when we shoot videos in church, I will tell them, take 1, take 2. I try to get one particular shot like 3 times. Guess what? Those 3 shots have 3 different pick, edit. Do you understand? So as a video editor, as a videographer, you don't take one shot, because one shot most times, if you take 3 shots, watch the 3 shots, you will find something different from each of those shots, those videos. So that's what this point is saying. Getting more than enough footage for your edits is something video editors call overage. It is best way to avoid trouble during the edits, or worse, having to go back to reshoot. So imagine you have 3 of those shots. Probably one got corrupt. You still have 2 to fall back to. Or you still have, like, if 2 of them gets corrupt, you still have 1 to fall back to. So that's what this place is talking about. Takes 2 or more shots, like I said. So next slide, please. Please be writing down your questions if you have questions. So don't stop till you get enough. Like I said, don't stop till you get enough. I started saying that it's a process. You need to shortlist what you want, what kind of videos you want to create. For instance, now, there are different kind of videos you can create. There's a product video. Product video is, if I want to advertise this bag now, that bag, there are different shots I can take. There are different angles I can take of this bag that you'll be like, wow, I'm interested to buy this bag. There are short videos on YouTube videos. There's one we did for a company. If we show you the process of how we did that video, you'll be shocked. Because I have short time, I probably will not be able to show you. After now, you can meet me, I can show you how the video, the YouTube page, and how we did it. It's just a short video, and if you see the back thing, you'll be like, wow, oh, nice. Okay, so read the room. Every recording environment has a certain audio quality. So for instance now, this place now, as I'm talking, is already echoing. There's sounds. You can hear the cars moving. So once you are done with recording, that's why you always see most people use, what's it called? You have this small mic you use to do recording, so you can get good audio for your video. Most people it's not advisable to use audio from your phone when you are doing records. If you are using phone, it's not even advisable for you to use audios from your camera. See that sound now that's coming? You can see that sound. Imagine like the video now, that sound is coming in. So if I have what's it called? What's the name again? I forgot it, it just skipped my head. There's this thing we used to, there's a Bluetooth mic, but there's a name for it. Lapel mic, yes. I mean, we all know lapel mic. Yes. So the reason why we have lapel mic is to be able to capture the audio. The lapel mic most times cannot capture this. So this can be probably underlit, but your voice is higher than, so you can still work on the audio. Do you understand? That's why we need lapel mic. So next slide, please. So there are, I think, 6 things, basic video editing principles that we need. So organize your footage, which is, like I said before, what are the shots you want to take? What are the things you want people to see? What are the stories you want to tell? Because every footage is a story. Like what the speaker that came before me said. Every footage is a story. What story do you want to tell? Like I said before, okay, so apart from that, apart from the whole tech, all of these things, I make clothes, I sell clothes. There are ways that I shoot my videos of my clothes that you'll be like, wow. So how I do it is we do praise, how we source for our materials, taking it to the tailor. That's a story I'm trying to tell. And that's like what this is saying, organize your footage. You take, okay, so we're going to the market to get the material, where we get the material, taking it to the tailor. After the process why the tailor is making it, we're taking footage of that. After that footage, we take where we knit the clothes, where we put print on it, then we now show you the finished job. That's a story. Do you understand? Like I said from the beginning, if you want to shoot a video, you need to have a story. What do you want people to see? Do you understand? That's one way. So make a plan. I've already said this before. Make a plan is before you start, what are the things the equipment you want to use. Like I said before, we have mobile. If you have a smartphone, you can actually use your smartphone to shoot videos that you want to shoot. There are videos I can show you that I've shot before, that I've done before, that you think is probably like a Nikon camera or all of those big cameras that is. No, it's a mobile phone. And there are softwares that can help you to probably modify your videos to a way where you, even somebody that sees you like, wow, this is really, really nice, actually. So next slide, please. So choose the clip that you want to, that shows the important actions. Like I said before, what do you want people to see? The actions you want to see. For instance, now, if you want to do 30 seconds video jingle, we want to do a promo, which is like sell a product. I want to say a laptop. What do I want people to see? Imagine, sit down and think, okay, first thing first is, what are the features of this laptop? What can this laptop do? How much does this laptop cost? Just now, the color. How many colors do we have? Those are the things it can be anything. It can be your clothes, it can be your phone, it can be your wristwatch. It can be anything you have. It can be your bag. This bag now, I can give you like 5 features of this bag. Why you should buy this bag. So when you have that, you now convert it, bring it, you have your plan already. You now start shooting those parts. Okay, I want people to see this zip part. Okay, this zip, this is where you can put your mobile phone. You shoot that part. The other part again, this is where you can put your water. You shoot that part. So when you now, once you are done, you bring them together. Maximum 30 seconds. You are done with that. Do you understand? Okay, so this next part is, so there's a video editor called, I use Premiere Pro to edit my videos. So if you look at that part, that's a Premiere Pro. Do you understand? So Premiere Pro is the software you use on your laptop to do video, like to edit videos. The Premiere Pro, there are softwares you use. Like I mentioned, for mobile phones, you can use CapCut, InShot. You can use, there's even a software for Instagram Reels. I think it's called Instagram Shorts. Reel Shorts. It's on Play Store, it's on Apple iOS Store. Do you understand? It's called Reel Shorts, yes. So what does Reel Shot do? Even with your pictures, you can actually use Reel Shots to create videos of with your pictures, take like I can take different angles of your bag, pictures, then convert it to a video. Do you understand? That's it. So this, so if we have an idea of how we use Premiere Pro, first thing first, again, you need to balance. There's color shades that first thing first. Most times when you take a video, most times if you notice, it probably will not be bright. There are most videos that will see that if they show you before and after of the video, you'll be like, wow. So these are the things, the technical works you have to do. It's broad, basically. It's not difficult, anyways. Speaking of that, this is not even my full calling. Video editing is not my full calling. Do you understand? I'm so sure most of us are wondering, so how come did you now learn video editing? So I learned video editing based on, I have a business, I have to shoot a video. I have to learn the skills. It's there. Everything's on YouTube. Do you understand? Where she was introducing me, you can hear the whole thing that she said. That's my major. Video editing is just something that I just do by the side and say, okay, let me use it and make some more money, add to my business. Because so I'm a tech person. Imagine I create videos for tech conferences. That's how it started. Do you understand? So I think the last number, not the least, don't neglect sound. Like I said, I talked about sound. Sound is very important. Sound can actually mess you up, can mess your video up. Yeah. Sound can actually mess your video up. Imagine you don't have a good sound. Nobody's hearing what you're saying. They're hearing probably the horns for the car. Nobody's hearing what you're saying. It's very important. Sound is very, very important. It's the key, most important. Mind you, there are softwares that can actually remove background noise. For Premiere Pro, there is noise cancellation on Premiere Pro. It's called noise cancellation. It's part of the effects and all that. I'm so sure after that we'll probably have like a major class where people that want to learn video editing will go through it. I can't start showing you all of that. High quality video includes quality audio. Like I said before, people will watch. Like, there's a video that he played before when I was at the back, I was doing something. I had to raise up my head because the sound was, when he was playing like his work, like what he has done, that's what got me. The sound, the music, that's what got me. I like, oh, nice, nice, nice. I love this sound. So, like I said, a high quality video includes high quality audio. People will watch something with poor video, with poor video quality if the sound quality is good. Do you understand that part? People will watch videos if the sound, that is poor quality, if the sound is good. I'm so sure that we've watched most videos that where we look at it on YouTube, the sound quality is bad, the video quality is bad, it's not clear, but we can hear what is coming out. So last but not the least, tell me, I'm almost done. Add music. Music is, of course, to make your video more interesting, there's music at the back, background music, like what he did before now. Export to the right format. So when you're exporting your videos, what are the formats are you exporting to? There are mobile formats, there are formats for YouTube where you can HD formats, there are formats that you want to upload and all that. So I think that's about that. Thank you. So do we have any questions? Because Temi has already come to arrest me already. Please, do we have any questions, please? Any questions? That means people understand how to edit videos now. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's give him a round of applause. I mean, he has simply taught us how to edit video. And for people that want to go for that course, they already know, they have an idea of what they will be learning for that course. So because of our time, we still have business to talk about. We have management, and then we have software development. We have DevOps. That's 4 different speakers. And time is no longer our friend, so we'll just rush through. So right about now, I'm going to be inviting the next speaker. He's a business developer, an entrepreneur, and also a credit specialist for SMEs. Join me as I welcome Broti Aminu. Let's give him a round of applause till he gets here. He has not gotten here. Are we tired? You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. It seems we are a bit tired. We shouldn't be. I know it's kind of an overload. A lot of things are being shared today, but I love quotes. So I'll start with a quote so that I can ginger and motivate everyone. There's an American businessman, and he said one of the greatest attributes for anyone in the 21st century is the ability to learn, unlearn, and relearn. I'm sure if I take a sample size of everyone in the room, most of, at least, would have maybe a BSc, HND. Well, a lot of those professions or a lot of those courses we learned way back in school, whether it is being a doctor, being an accountant, being an English teacher or whatever, were things that were relevant maybe in the 18th or 19th century. That was basically the skills that were, or the knowledge gap that needed to be closed way back. But we are still using them now. But in the digital and information age, a lot of the skills or a lot of the courses that is being mentioned today is what is required. That's the gap that exists now. So there's really nothing wrong in, oh, I went to school, I studied economics, oh, I went to school, I studied engineering. Well, it's not irrelevant, it's still relevant. Just like what this businessman said, we learned all that. Now, this is the point whereby we now unlearn. Not that you're totally deleting everything you learned, but you're now unlearning, trying to take up new skills, and we now relearn going further. So I'll be speaking basically on skills, or should I put skills that within the business and management space. A lot of these skills have been able to upscale businesses. One of them is actually business analysis. So people call it business analytics. The analytics part is when you combine it with use of data science. But basically, what do business analysts, or what do they do? This actually, in the business world, this is a very, very sought after skill. Because what these people do is actually to identify business needs and profile solutions or problems. I'm sure at interviews you hear the hiring manager saying, why we are recruiting you is because we want someone that can solve problems. And that's basically what these people do. So what these people do basically is identify the needs and they try to solve problems. Now there are various tools they use. Since it's an orientation, is just to open our minds to get to understand what this particular skill or this particular course is all about. Some people go as far back as being certified. They call them CBAB. Some people end up going further and getting qualifications like PMP. So people get Prince 2. All these are actually things. What they try to do is every business or every company or every business, definitely, there are always challenges. And what these people do is identify these challenges and see how they can profile solutions. You understand? For example, you could actually be into a sales, maybe you're into sales, and you're trying to increase your traffic, maybe via your physical presence or your online presence. And you really don't know why your products are not actually hitting the market. What a business analyst will do is get a good understanding of your business, get a good understanding of your products, get a good understanding of your processes. And what they tend to now do is using data. That's where the business analytics comes in. Using data, they are able to profile solution to that business owner, saying, okay, based on the data and everything we've observed, we observed that your customers actually are within this particular geographical area. Maybe it could be in the north, or maybe it could even be in the US. And this is the time whereby they visit your online presence. And using data, they are able to generate and improve that particular business profit. So that's what a business analyst or anyone that has that business analytics skills, that's what they bring to the table. And they are highly sought after. You could actually have your full-time job and you could be doing this on a contract or a part-time basis. It does not stop anything. I do it as part-time. You understand? So you could have your full-time job, maybe your 8 to 5, but you could have a contract with maybe any company online or even within Nigeria, and you basically profile or you offer this particular service to them. So that's one. And there are a lot of jobs out there looking for a business analyst, because as a business owner, you would always have, or you run into business, what they call it, challenges, and you need someone with that requisite skill to help you. The next thing again is business development. Well, this is just an upgraded name for marketers. So as a business development manager, what you do is, your aim is to try and see how you can grow the business, improve the top line, that's revenue. Really, for business development or a business development manager or an officer, one of the things you tend to do, one of the skills you really need is you need to have strong interpersonal skills. You need to have a very, very large ecosystem, because you will need all those people when you go into that activity. So here I'm talking about, as a business development manager, you are communicating with the clients, communicating with the customers, communicating with all stakeholders within a business. And again, this is another, what they call it, job or offer you see a lot over the internet, because it can never grow old. Companies would always need people to to improve their visibility, and if you permit you to use that word, they always want to reach out to every nook and cranny. They want business developers to go as far as the villages to expose their products, expose their services. So this is one. Another one here is quality assurance managers. As a quality assurance manager, what you basically do is more or less like safeguarding the quality of the standards of production of a particular company. So, for example, I know the guy that was talking about data analytics and data sciences and things like that. Yes, they will definitely mine data from different what they call a footprint. But before their results is basically put out for final implementation, you need a quality assurance person to be sure. He needs to do 1 or 2 samplings or tests of whatever that data analyst or data scientist has done before it's now being pushed out for deployment. So this is another very, very important skill. In this day of AI, this day of automation, these days of robotics, yes, a robot can do a lot of things. You can automate processes. AI can actually give you insight, but you need an assurance manager to be able to bring life into whatever the robot has done or the AI has basically generated. So that's how important this skill is. And now, the thing about the skill is it's not as if you could basically go online and pick it up. Yes, there'll be a lot of courses or a lot of courses that would be showed during this particular workshop or this particular training. But again, most of them are actually job specific because you need to understand the job or you need to understand that particular service before you can now be certain to actually conduct any form of assurance on what has now been done. Then the last one, which I'm sure we would have heard a lot about, e-commerce. Yes, e-commerce, last we're talking about marketplaces like Jumia, Konga, you have, I think, you have Squad for GT, you have Flutterwave Marketplace. All these marketplaces, yes, you go on Jumia and you see a particular shoe or a particular shirt. There is basically someone that is coordinating all those activities, and they call that person an e-commerce manager. So that person needs to be sure and needs to ensure that whatever is put on the front page of those sites are what will attract us, are what will drive traffic. And that person also needs to ensure that whatever you click and say, I want to buy, it must be available. And it must be delivered to you within the promised timeline. So that's what an e-commerce manager also tries to give. Now, a lot of people are specialized in this. I'm sure when you go to Jumia's office or their open space, you have lots of e-commerce managers there. And all they're trying to do is manage that particular workspace, manage that market space, ensure it's optimized. So you see them coming with several, I'm sure days like Black Friday, you see them actually on their toes. They need to be sure that before you even type anything, all those information or your trends or everything basically comes up to you. And this is another well sought after skill. The reason being that the world is going online. Online is the way to go. And every company actually wants to ensure that they have a very, very strong presence online. And to do that, you need e-commerce managers to be able to manage your activities on the digital space. So I think that's all for business and management. As I don't know how many people will be interested, but one of the things I would say is the business analysis part is actually hot cake. And companies, maybe not in Nigeria, but I know companies abroad, they seek people with this particular skill, whether for part-time, whether for contract. Sometimes you could actually be part of a bigger team, and they'll just give you a slice of a problem to solve. You have meetings with them, so it's actually something that you can take up as full-time, you can take up as contract, and you can take up as part-time. Depends on you. But again, the critical thinking needs to come in place. Your ability to solve problem needs to come in place. You really don't need coding experience, because what you are doing is just bridging a gap between the business need, maybe the IT, and solving the problem. You know, the IT guys don't know a lot about business problems. So someone needs to communicate that language to them. That's what the business analyst does. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much, sir. Do we have any question? Okay, somebody has a question for you.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
So I want to ask, in the course of the training, are you going to be teaching some tools? If so, what tools will you be teaching?
Well, just like you mentioned, there are various tools, but most of them actually are business specific. You really don't need all those fanciful tools, to be honest. And actually, if you've been working in any corporate environment, you've actually been a business analyst, but you never knew. What is very, very key is you being able to identify a need or a problem and solving it. How you solve that problem, if it's only Excel you know how to use, you've solved the problem. Do you understand? But you must have that ability to be able to say that, oh, for example, I could come into the church and I just noticed that I have so many people crowding around the ushers, and what are they trying to do? They are trying to use, what they call it, the POS. And all I just need to just do is, what are the existing tools? Or I'm trying to provide a solution, and what I'm trying to do is I'm tailoring that solution to NewLife's problem. That's all I need to do. So you really don't need big, massive tools, but you need to have that understanding of how do I, critical thinking, that's a problem. So you say, people just crowding there every Sunday, trying to pay tithes. You and I know that there are several other digital technology. You have QR, you can use what they call it, QR, or what they call it, to make payments. There is this touch and what they call it, tap and pay. A lot of them are actually, all I'm just doing is providing solutions. And I'm going to meet people that have these technologies. Please bring it to NewLife. There's so much problem there. So if everyone wants to queue for POS, you can queue for POS. I have another person using QR code. I have somebody using tap and pay. I have somebody probably using what they call it, transfer. So necessarily the tools, you understand? What you need to do, and before I can do that is, I'll probably come up with something called a SWOT analysis, trying to tell the pastorate the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats to everyone just crowding in there. One, it could lead to anything could happen there. You understand? So what you just need is that ability to be able to see, oh, there is a business, there is a crisis here, there is a need here, and what do I do to provide solution? Now, as you go higher and you start solving complex problems, yes, you might now require some more tools, but the basic is you even understanding what the problem is and you trying to identify a solution.
Thank you so much, sir. Let's give him a round of applause again. We are coming to the end of this program gradually, and I believe we have been learning something. If you have been learning something, say yes. I is so low, that means we have not been learning. If you have been learning something, say yes. All right, thank you so much. So right about now, we have 3 more major topics to go for, and I'll be calling on Mr. Olawale Olowu. He is a business developer and also a product manager. He happens to be my boss, a friend, and also a mentor. So we'll be talking to us today about management still, as it relates to project management, product management, and all of those managerial skills. Maybe you are good with managing people and all of that. How can these skills you want to learn, how can it benefit me? This is the time for you to listen. Let's give him a round of applause as he approaches the stage.
Praise the Lord. Good afternoon, everyone. So I will try my best not to take much of our time. As she explained, yes, I'm a business development manager. Previously, I was a project manager, but I decided to change my role to start developing solutions. I work in the IT field. And now what I do is to develop solutions that we use, and I'm certain there are some of the solutions many of you use today, but I would not be mentioning the name because many of them we developed. So I want to speak mainly to the managerial aspects because that's the aspect. But let me start with project management. As project manager, our expectation is to be able to manage people as well as bring the various elements of development into limelight. What does this mean is, I can further break it down to say, you work in different aspects of projects, or there are different technical expertise in different aspects of the project. If you're going to build a house, for instance, you have the architect, you have the probably the bricklayers, you have different persons with their different skills handling that project. So the expectation is, as project manager, you should be able to manage these different set of persons, and whatever they do, be able to integrate it and bring out that final products, which is the building. And also, if we relate it to technical aspects, you have a developer that is assigned to build. We have some developer called back-end developer. We have the front-end developers. You have the QAs. You have the product managers. But as project manager, you are supposed to be able to manage these individuals and ensure that they deliver the various tasks or assignments given to them, so that in the long run, the stakeholders will be able to have that finished product. And also you manage stakeholders as well. So you are that person that coordinates the different activities that every other person does, so that they'll be able to deliver within time, within budget, and achieve the scope. So you are also looking at the scope that has been agreed to say, oh, okay, this is what we are expected to do, and also to ensure for your business, you are not delivering things that are not within the scope. So generally, like they mentioned, you have to be a people person, be able to manage persons, because you find sometimes your engineers, they would not put in that effort expected of them, and you know that would have impact to the timeline of the project. You then need to know how to manage them. So sometimes you just have fun at what's going on, what's wrong. You should be able to dimension when your team member is not feeling well, when they are not in the mode. You should be able to do team bonding. You should be able to pamper people. You should also know when to scream at them to get the job done. But generally, you are that guy that ensure that everybody is in good shape and they are doing what they are expected to do. So project management is one of those non-technical skills if we are looking at the aspect of if you are interested in going to that digital or technical role. So it's one of those non-technical skills. But it is also good if you have an insight, a bit technical insight, because you then be able to stand out and be able to manage well. But not necessarily that you need to acquire that technical insight right from inception, but basically know how to be a good project manager, what is expected of you to be a good project manager. And as time goes by, you then become to understand or become to know what the line you are in, the field you are in, you get to know what everybody is doing. So when an engineer is telling you that he's going to take 5 days to implement a solution, because you then have a background or a knowledge about what he's doing, you can say, guy, what's wrong? Why do you need 5 days? So he would then justify his reasons and stuff like that. But generally, it just speaks to whatever you do, ensure you do it well. Then I would also like to bring some sense of understanding to everything said so far. And that's the aspect of, many persons say there are no jobs in Nigeria, but some of us have a different view to that. We are of the view that there are jobs, only that there are no qualified persons to handle it. And that's the reality today. There are many organizations that have been probably released vacancies looking for somebody to take up that position. But they've not seen. Are we then going to say that opening is not a job opportunity for somebody? But you find out that there are no qualified persons to fit that job. So, and also I can as well tell you that these skills many of us have today, just like my brother before me said, some of us have not looked at how we can as well be working for wherever we are and as well be working for someone else remotely. So that means the skills we have for the job we do, we are also dishing it out other places. I know some engineers I work with that they put in their time to do the job that they are paid for. And I can assure you they do their job well. But I can also tell you that they have more than 5 gigs by the side that they are working on. So that means they are paid to do job. They go to office when required. There's nothing you can say that they are not delivering the job you are paying them for. But they then put in extra effort and extra hours outside of their job to be able to take care of those other sides gig that they have, so that they make more money for themselves. Does not know the number of people that are working. They tell you to declare your tax. Many people, aside from us that work in a corporate environment, that they deduct it from your salary. Many persons, they don't pay their tax. So they prefer, or even if they pay the tax, you find out that the tax being paid here is equal to nothing compared to the foreign or the Western world. So they believe that working here and getting the dollar is better off. And it's actually better off compared to the rates we have today. So somebody earning 2,000, not even 2,000, some earn, in fact, the amount is crazy when they convert it. Recently, one of my engineers is a very young guy, about 4 years out of university. He was telling us that he's resigning. What is going on? He got a job offer that is ready to pay him 2 million monthly. Bros, I've worked more than 10 years. I don't know when I'm going to start earning 2 million. For an engineer that is less than five years doing the job, and he got an offer that will pay him 2 million monthly. And the funny thing is that they said it's strictly remote. That means he does not need to go to office. All he just needs is have internet connection and everything. Then you find these young guys, less than 5 years, you find them using satellite, Starlink. Starlink is owned by Elon Musk, that many of us know. And you keep wondering, where are these guys making the money for? You find a young guy, less than 5 years, is buying cars for his parents and himself. And I can assure you that they are not Yahoo. They are doing legit job. Only that some of them, they are in a gained employment, but they have close to 2 or 3 side gig. And none of those other companies are complaining, because they put extra effort. You see, when some of you go out to associate with friends, drink, they are not interested. They have delivery, they have tasks to deliver. So when they close from your normal paid job by 5 p.m., they are at home. They go do the other job and ensure they deliver. Some even have jobs that are in some other locations, but they ensure that they put. You see boys in office or at home having 2 to 3 laptops. This one is for this company, this one is for that company, this one is for this company. When it's time for this meeting, they jump to that laptop. Everything is on. But what we are trying to inspire in you is that acquire this knowledge, get yourself into it, be the best at what you do, and I can assure you that you, at the end of the day, will be the one to smile. then you still find some cases whereby those foreign companies would then be the one to sponsor somebody out of Nigeria. They will tell you that, don't worry, we are going to take care of all your flights, your ticket. I had a friend close to 3 years now that was from our company. He was moved to UAE. And it was his flight, his family, accommodation. They gave him accommodation for about 1 month, 2 months so that he can settle down. And he was moved straight up. And when I find out what his pay was, in a year it was going to be earning close to 35 million. I was like, God, what is going on? So these are actually reality in our environment. So that's why you find out that some persons, it seems to them that money is not a problem. Why would money be a problem when you are earning close to 2 million? You get the case when practically the tax you don't pay some. So you just find out that people are making it in this country, while some persons are complaining that it's not well for them. And by God's grace, it's going to be well for all of us in Jesus' name. So I've spoke about project management, business development that I do. Like I mentioned, I see now I'm still a project manager. Let us not lie. Because I've done project management for more than 10 years. And I felt that I needed some other knowledge because one other thing as project manager, you need to be versatile. It's very important. You need to be versatile. Because if you are going to be managing a project, you need that knowledge. Though somebody mentioned that you can't be master of all. But the knowledge of every other thing, you also need to be a master at one. But those other knowledge make that particular one thing you do probably make you different from any other person. So please, we introduce, as a church, introduce this because we want persons to be able to get and take up the opportunity in the industry. It's available in the industry. Many companies, like they said, is looking for opportunities. Looking for people to be able to take up this job. As you all know, people are relocating out of Nigeria. But do you realize they left some space? They left some job when they leave. So those positions need to be filled. So do you have the necessary knowledge, skills to be able to take up that role? Some companies, some food departments, their staff in that unit resigned. The banks are being affected. The IT firms are being affected. So I can guarantee you that there are openings around. But just like I mentioned earlier, there are no skilled hands to be able to take up that role. So generally this is not necessarily to close the session because I believe there are some other persons. But we've said a lot. There can be one thing or the other we've mentioned today that can be beneficiary to you. I can tell you there was one time that it was hard for me, and it was digital marketing skills that I had one time that I was able to feed myself with. So if we talk about digital marketing, I've done it one time. If you talked about coding, I tried to do coding, but I think at age, the thing was not entering my head again, so I decided to leave coding. But I can also tell you that as of today, those engineers, some young guys in Federal University of Technology, FUTA, we do give them side gig. And when you hear what they want to charge you, it's even far cheaper than if you want the expert, so you will jump at it. So why some people go to school, while they are in university, they are still relying on daddy and mommy to send them home. There are young boys in that same university getting gig to do the job. So in this environment we are in, we are opportune, we are the advantage because this opportunity are all around. The lady that spoke about data marketing, if you are thinking, oh, if I acquire this case, who is that person that is going to employ me? When I did data marketing, what I did was to identify some businesses around. And when I did that, I was just taking some little money, just give me 10K to promote your business. So the business owner, 10K is small money because he's going to promote the business. I just managed a Facebook page for a certain amount. Some you can say, okay, let me do it for you for 50K. All you just need to do is to help them promote their business. And when I do it, I usually collect money for advert. So to advertise on Facebook, you will pay me that extra money. But just because I'm the one managing. So let's assume you take, let's say 30K, let's not be much. You identify 5 or 10 businesses across that gives you that amount. That means if you're making about 150 ordinarily, and all you just need is that knowledge and sit at home with internet. Internet has become flexible. My brother was complaining about internet. I was telling that in my own case, internet is a bit not a problem to me. In this same estate I stay here, I pay 13K for unlimited data every month. There was one time I was using MTN, I was spending close to 40K every month. But now I have unlimited data that I paid 13K for. In fact, they just increased it to 30K, it was 11K. My kids these days, when there's no internet at home, they go, Daddy, the network is down. So it's practically as if they don't know the pain, because everybody in the house, as long as you have a device, you have free access to the internet. And just for 30K. So things have become a bit easier for you to be able to take advantage. So please take advantage of 1 or 2 of these keys. We've said a lot, many are still coming, there's still more we've not talked about. I will just advise you, the earlier you start, the better. It might not come in profitably in 1 month, in 2 months. Take that baby step. Be doing it. Before you see, it becomes something that you become a master at. And before you see, you start making money from it. And it gives you an opportunity for you to be able to do what else you want to do. If as at then, with the knowledge you want to relocate, you already have the skills. There are some people, they relocate because through through school. There are some of us, if we want to relocate, I just need to be a skid. I don't need to go to school. Through school to relocate. I can relocate today and say there are other opportunities because I already have the experience and knowledge. And they will give me visa that will allow me to do anything that I want to do abroad. So these opportunities are there, enormous. Many people you see, faces, young minds, they are there. The church needs your skills as well. Somebody is the one doing the announcement you see every Sunday. You look at it, you just hear the sound, it looks beautiful. Somebody does it. He mentioned it. There's nothing that says you cannot do something again. And I can assure you, Kashi, that I know, is not doing it for only this place. He has some other places. And when somebody comes here and they see what he does, they will I want to know about this person. They got to know about him before he came here based on what he has done. So is it flyers? Some of us that we develop mobile applications, banking application, we need knowledge of UI, UX. We need people we can give side gig to when it's available within our reach. Recently, my partner and I, we engaged somebody to build an app for us just for some little interface or features. We paid the guy 500K just to build it. And he's going to deliver that thing within 3 months. 500K within 3 months. And the guy has his own job. The backend person or the UI UX guy that wanted to build the interface, the guy said he was going to collect 2 million to do it. And how long does he need to do the job? Less than 2 months. But the fact is that because we know what he's going to deliver to us, his rate is even far cheaper for 2 million for within 2 months. And we are going to pay him. And that guy has multiple jobs. Let me come personally home. My younger brother recently relocated to UK. He works with one of the tech firms in Nigeria. When he was leaving, they insisted that they would keep him. He got to UK. He still got a job in UK because he has a knowledge in UI UX design. He's also a cyber security expert. He got a job as a cyber security expert. He's working in the UK as a cyber security expert. He's working for a Nigerian company as a UI UX designer. He has been in London for close to a year now. They still kept him and they are still giving him the money. And he's delivering the job. And sometimes he will just call me, bros, do you have any side gig for me? I was like, what is wrong with you? You are doing this one, you are doing this one, you still want to do it. But the fact remains that company don't care as long as they give you the task and you deliver it, they pay you the money. Thank you very much. I think that's all from me.
I just want to ask a question.
Yes, sir.
Maybe my observation, like the last speaker that spoke, it kind of looks, what you guys are talking about kind of looks very
Almost
similar. Are they
okay.
different training?
Okay, so he
Or simply
mentioned.
put, you as a business development manager, like, are you like a business analyst too?
Okay, so the knowledge of business analysts makes you good in, like I mentioned, in what you do. Okay. I was once a project manager. I have the knowledge or training for as a business analyst as well. Because business analysts, one of the things you do is build processes for company. So, and not only build processes for company, you also do requirement gathering analysis for company. So for instance, if I'm going to build a mobile application, a banking application for, let's say GT Bank, for instance, I would need to gather the requirements. And gathering the requirements means, what do you want to see on that mobile application? So I take insights from you as one of the stakeholders from this person. First thing, well, in Nigeria, some cases, some company, they decide to have a business analyst. Some places, they model up the project manager and a business analyst together. Some places, the business owner. So you see, if you then fall in a company that you are the business or the product owner. Oh, I was supposed to mention product management. But the product owner, you also you are the one doing those requirement gathering. You then see that you need the knowledge of business analysis to help you if you are a product owner, even to make you better as a project manager. And me, that now that I'm a business developer, it makes me better at my field. So if the training is going to be the same, my own major focus area will be project management. But as business developer in my own environment where I work, a particular business, what I do is to see what new thing can we develop out of this business, what new business can we bring out of this, or new solution, or what new market can we take this solution to. So I sit down, I know or get the problem as a client, then I develop a solution towards it and deliver that to you. Or for my company, I look at the existing products, see which new market we can take it to. New market can be Ghana. They don't have this kind of solution, we take it to Ghana. Or that same product, see how we can expand that product to this same customer. Oh, this particular customer is using this product. Can we build something out of this to fit a problem they have? So in turn, I'm making more money for the company. But behind the scene, my knowledge of business analysis can make me sit down with you, identify the problem. And is what makes me probably one of a better... So I have many persons I speak to about their business that sometimes there are problems related to business that I help them look at, and I advise them how to navigate around it based on the experience, based on what I do. So generally, that knowledge is not of waste to me. So, but if you then say you want to focus and just be a business analyst, it's fine. If you want to be a project manager, oh, it's all well and good as well. But that you have the knowledge of business analysis and you are a project manager, oh, it makes you better off. Because when you speak and when you discuss related functionalities, people tend to see a difference, that this guy understands this better. So if the program is going to be organized differently, I can assure you that one way or the other, I'm going to be one of the facilitators in any of those courses. He is also going to be one of the facilitators. And generally, someone will just combine our knowledge to ensure that we give you the best that will be of use to you in the market. Thank you.
Excuse me. I also think that there's something he asked that you've not clarified. Difference between business management and business analyst.
Yeah, I think, as you said, it's kind of...
Okay, so business management and business analysis. Yes, there is a bit difference. So one, internally creating process, that's business analysis. Creating process for the betterment of the company. You have a company that is growing, a small scale business that is not growing, you need to not define process, define rules that everybody, or if somebody wants to do procurement, before now, as a one-man business, the CEO just take money, buys, but the company is not growing. They are not saying, if you are going to buy anything more than 2 million, it needs to not go to the CEO. But before any other thing below that, this is the process. You go to some company, you want a contract, they tell you, oh, you not just go like that, you need to follow this process, you need to submit or you wait for a bid or a tender before you bid for it and stuff like that, or you go fill a form online and stuff like that. That business analysis is the one that would understand the flows of the company and design a working flow. And they also go further to say, you want to develop a solution, what is required. They gather your knowledge or your requirements from this person, this stakeholder, that stakeholder, and define everything that will not make up the scope of the project. But a business manager is more of, this is the company, this is what the company does. Those various, I like to use the word products, maybe products, because the aspect I deal on is more of products related. This particular product, I need to expand it. I need to look for a way to make money for the company. This particular product, once we develop it, I will be the one to define what's the money, how much we are going to charge for it if we are going to be implementing it. I would also determine the market that it will serve. I will also be the one that would present it to the stakeholders. I will also be the one that will manage stakeholders. So what I do now is more of client interface, more of talking money matters, more of developing solutions that will be useful to financial institutions and stuff like that. And generally creating innovative solutions. You see things that are coming up in the tech industry, in the banking industry. You use your mobile app, you'll be able to scan your facial ID to be able to unlock or to do transaction. We would have sat down and say what is the technology available in the industry and create a solution. There's the aspect I forgot to mention, which is product management. The product manager is the one that I will be talking more of, or using analysis or example from banking application, because yes, most of the banking, not all, some of the banking application you use behind the scene, we are the one that built it. So a product manager will take your mobile banking app, for instance, and say, for product manager, he or she is the owner of that product. That means this new functionality that they put today, a product manager would have sat down to say, this is required. Before, if you want to unlock your phone, unlock your app, you want to log in, you don't use biometrics. But now you use biometrics. The product owner would have looked at it and say, oh, this is where the trends are moving to. Let us introduce this functionality. A product owner will look at that particular product. There's one particular functionality there that is of no use to anybody anymore. Let's remove it. Then the product owner would do research, market research to see this particular product, is our customer happy with it? What are the issues around it? All those, Play Store reviews, people say, the transaction history is no more working. Somebody is monitoring those trades and look at it and say, come guys, this thing is not working, let's fix it and stuff like that. So one way or the other, in some companies, you find one person doing almost everything. But in a standard organization, they separate them individually. But for me, for instance, what was useful to me and helpful for me so far was I have the knowledge of business analysis. Somehow I've done project manager for more than 10 years. I also have knowledge of product manager. So that's why when I'm building my own team, I might not necessarily call a product manager from a start to come do it for me. But because of the many things I'm involved in, I will not say, it's better if I pay somebody to handle that responsibility. So one way or the other, the knowledge is not of waste. But when we start the training, I think we would then split and speak to them individually. Then you get better understanding of what it's all about. Thank you. I don't know if there's any other question, but...
Okay. So I don't know if you mentioned, there's a business developer at InterSwitch. I think that was why he said most of the banking apps. I know you're used to that name, InterSwitch. And he's also a startup founder. So who knows, maybe when we start learning, some of you will get internship to start up. All right. So we are gradually getting to the end of this thing. But something I've noticed is that there's so much that looks alike. We've talked about data analysis, business analysis. This thing is quite confusing. We're not here to confuse you. But I hope that today you have been able to make a decision, because after this training, we'll release the link for you to register for the training. And now you'll be picking the course you have decided to go for. Well, in the world of technology, I've come to understand that there will be so many other things that will confuse you. It is natural. So just start getting used to it. You see someone come today, I'm a development management. Which one is this one again? You have to go and read. So many of these roles, they just bring it out of something, right? They just join two things together. Some people say, I'm a brand strategist. What is that one again? So you've heard that that person is coming out of digital, designs. The person already understood design. So there are so many roles that you will hear later as you go into these roles. But one thing you do when you hear a new role that you have not heard before, go and look at the skills. So what happens there is the skills is what you should look at, not the name. People just name it. What I will name a role in my company might be different from what another person will name it in. He might name it something else in his own company. But look at the skills they need. That's where you used to know what is needed of you. So now we're moving to the second to the last speaker. I know some of you are waiting to hear coding. They have only been talking about somebody's like, yes, talk about coding now. Non-coding skills, things. I mean, why I'm excited this is happening is that when people hear tech, some people just think it's about coding. So I'm happy that since we have been talking for the past 2 hours, we have never mentioned HTML, CSS, but we are getting there. The next speaker is not talking on coding yet. So, and again, another disclaimer is that some of the people that have come to speak with you today doesn't mean that they will be the exact trainer. Many of them, they will just maybe come in as a guest trainer in between your training, but you still get to see them. You might have different people that will come and train you. But because it's an orientation, imagine if we have 30 people come and speak today. We're going to sleep here. So we had to merge things together for people that have the understanding. Looking at him, he migrated from projects to business. So you can, one thing that tech also gives you the ability to do is to transit. We call it transitioning. You can transit from being a graphic designer to a UI UX designer. I mean, one of my friends lately was telling me that she transited from being a front-end developer to a product designer. So we'll get to that place. Let me not jump. So right about now, join me as I welcome Mr. Dami Dauda. So he is, I don't know, he's many things, but today he's going to talk to us about DevOps, and he's one of the organizers for this training. I think we should make it louder. Thank you so much. You're welcome, sir.
Praise the Lord. Good afternoon, and thank you for giving us the time to be here today. I'll be talking about DevOps. It has to do with cloud. What is DevOps and where is it applied? DevOps is a combination of settings, culture strategies, dedicated practices, and tools that helps companies accelerate the process of creating applications and services. With DevOps, the process of product development and optimization goes faster compared with the traditional model of software development. One of the factors that led to emergence of DevOps was the advancement of cloud service platforms and abandonment of on-premises hosting. So quickly, that just said about the on-prem is when you have an IT facility in your organization, IT department, and the one that looks after your servers and all other stuff like that to ensure that you have great access to internet and the other activities that have to do with IT in that organization. And so now, their communications between them and the developer is far apart. You know, there's a lot of money invested in that aspect. But when cloud came, these whole things are factored together. That's why we have what we call DevOps, that development and operations. So it comes together. Like what the speaker that spoke earlier was discussing here, talking about the development, agile, and whatever it is. All these things are intertwined. They are all together, but they all have their specific roles to play in the world today. So the world are tilting towards cloud nowadays. Nobody now does anything on-prem. Everything is what? Is tilting towards cloud. So the essence of DevOps today is to do what? Is to facilitate all that, to make it more faster and make it, to create an avenue for you to have a proper database to keep your products and whatever it is that you have to do. So how does DevOps work? It dissolves the boundaries between development and operation teams. Sometimes these two groups join together, collaborating on the application life cycle in whole, from development testing to developing, to deploying and running in production. So what does this actually connote is like the Facebook we see today. Now, you see Facebook, you access Facebook this morning, you see a kind of, on the interface, maybe the left side of the Facebook is showing menu, for example. Now, tomorrow, the developer or the software developer can come up with another design, and once that design is done, it was going to deploy it. So it's now the function of the DevOps engineer to do what? To create an avenue, an infrastructure for that, what the developer has created, to deploy that thing. And that thing has a process. You just don't develop it. Before you develop it, you send it, and they'll look at, assess it, and test it. And when it doesn't work, they send it back to the developer. But now, what DevOps are created is, once the developer creates his own software, makes his design, and deploy it, there's a tool that takes that thing that deployed and run it to test. And once that test fails, automatically it goes back to the developer. It's very quick. But there are tools that you use to do all these things. So, but in the training, you'll be taught about all those what's it called, tools. So DevOps sometimes models may also include QA and security engineers. So if security is the top priority for all members of DevOps group, such an approach is called DevSecOps. Now, because of the cybersecurity thing that people are talking about today, so in DevOps we have what we call the DevSecOps, which takes care of the security aspects. It focuses on what? The security aspect of the DevOps. That is everything you do in cloud. Ensure that no people that don't, intruder will not have access to your data. Your data are saved. So these are their functions. The function of those DevOps secs. Those are their functions to ensure that your data are saved. So these groups use special methods to automate the processes that used to be executed manually and required a lot of time for this. With the help of certain technologies and tools, such DevOps groups are self-sustained and able to complete tasks that formerly require intervention of other teams, such as code deployment or infrastructure initialization. Like I said earlier on, DevOps will build the infrastructure. They build a server. They have we have the cloud practitioners with like AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, GPC, and etc. etc. We have the Alibaba cloud. A lot of cloud practitioners are out there today. But they don't just function alone. They function by having tools that makes them who they are today. And those tools are what the DevOps engineers use to carry out their tasks. That is, actually, they are automating every system that we are doing manually. Everything we are doing manually, like your IT section in your office, that you have your IT room that you go every now and then when the server is down, the IT professional will go to the IT room to look at what's happening. No, all that are no longer in vogue now. Everything has been automated. So in the DevOps aspect, we have all those cloud practitioners providing you all those tools that you need to have a server. We have the microservice. We have the one we even call serverless now, that you don't need to even build that infrastructure. So all those things are there for you to learn as long as the course progress. So DevOps methods are practiced that help companies to implement innovations faster by automating pipelines and optimization infrastructure. So what does that mean when I say pipeline? Well, like I said earlier on, that when the developer did their job, the software developer, when they do their job and deploy it, the pipeline is what would take that job and test it. And when it fails, it does what? It goes back. And we call that process that test those software Maven. You can find when you use Jenkins pipeline and stuff like that. So, but today is not the day to discuss about all that because it's very large scope. So that's how DevOps works. So the list of DevOps practices includes infrastructure as code, your AIC, continuous integration, which is how your when I say continuous integration now is like when the developer has done their job, and they send it to for production. Before it hit production, before it's been deployed to production, it undergo a test. So that continuous integration is what takes place, and ensure that, okay, once this thing have gone through this test, if it fails, it goes back to the developer, and if it is passed, it goes to deployment and goes to productions. And when it goes to production, it is what we now see. The interface is what we see today. When you have your Jumia, your Facebook, when you go to Amazon site, all sites that you visited on the internet, those interfaces you are seeing today have gone through a process. And that process, the people that makes it happen, that makes it work, and make you see those things are the DevOps engineer and the developer. So we've merged them together. That's why we call them DevOps. That's development and operations. They come to the development and they go into what? Operations. So automated testing will always take place. The continuous deployment. The continuous deployment is about every now and then when you have an update on your software or on your site, once the developer push that to there's a system we call GitHub. Once you push it to the Git, it's going to test it and say, okay, this thing works well. So immediately it does what? It deploys it. Our performance monitoring, release management rather, our performance monitoring, load testing, and auto-scaling. So what the auto-scaling is about, you having, for example, maybe it's okay, 1,000 people are going to visit your website as they go. And the more you have over 1,000, it does what? It upscale. So that you won't have a downtime and the service will not be slow. But if you don't do that, if it does not upscale, what happens is that once people visited those sites, it will slow down because you've not created an avenue for it to upscale. And these are very essential things that people do. Like during the election we have in Nigeria, there's this site that they said INEC provided that people would log on to. Take for instance, IREF, thank you. Take for instance, that IREF now, when they deploy the infrastructures, in that developing the infrastructure, then that's okay. We have, in a minute, 10,000 people can access it. So if they not create room that, okay, if in that 1 minute, 10,001 people access it, it's going to cause an itch. So now, that auto-scaling will now do what? Will now scale up your infrastructure to give room for the extra 1,000 plus that want to access it. But once that is not done, it's going to create an itch. Some of the time we call it, all those things, we call them bug, and you have to fix it immediately. That's part of the function of a DevOps engineer. You need to monitor those infrastructures, ensure that once those bugs comes up, pop up, you do what? You attend to it, you fix it immediately. So DevOps is not about you, it's not about coding really, but at the same time you still have to have a bit understanding of what your code lines, what they are talking about. Because as a DevOps engineer, you go to Terraform.io to pick up your code to build your infrastructures. They are all there for you to build your infrastructure. But you need to understand those things. So there's something called script batch, which you use, bash script rather, that you use in DevOps. And there's another code we use, we call them Ruby, that we use. Those are the most that I used probably when I was going through this course then. So DevOps engineer focus more on the monitoring stage compared to the previous stages. It is essential to monitor the production continuously to catch new bugs, like I said, and fix them, and push the corrected version back to the client. Because you cannot push a wrong version to your client. It's not going to work. So you have to do this testing, like the list I mentioned, that the list of DevOps practices includes all these things. So you have to ensure that your code and your system go through these things, and it's been certified. Because once it's not certified, it always throws an error, and you go back to the developer to fix their codes. So now, please, the first diagram here. This is it. This is everything about DevOps. First thing, you plan. You have architectural diagram for your planning. Okay, how do you want your servers to be? Okay, this company wants this kind of server, and what do they want? So on your architectural diagram, you plan everything you have to do there. So when that is planned, it goes to your code, And when developer has started their job, what do? They send it to build. And once that builds, if it fails, that is testing. When it comes to that testing, when they build the code, it comes to testing. Once it's been tested and it fails, it goes back through that process from plan back to the code. But once this test pass, it goes to release and deploy and operations. So before it goes back, when it goes to operations, that monitor, we have tools that monitors your infrastructure. That every now and then, once you created it, because before you get to this monitor, when you are planning, you have to factor in all these things in your codes. Yeah, there are codes that you get from everything that the DevOps needs. Their codes are already made. You get it from Terraform.io. That's why I talk about the IAC, Infrastructure as Code. Infrastructure as Code is about you getting your code from Terraform.io. So once you get those codes, you put them to your VSC. Once you put it there, you deploy them. But don't just deploy the code. You need to propagate those codes to suit whatever plan that you have made. If you say you want people to access your servers, maybe 1,000 per 1 second, so you have to factor everything in planning. And from planning, it goes to your code. So those codes, when you get them, when you fetch them from Terraform.io, you do what? You populate them to suit whatever plan you have. Then it goes to build, it comes to test, release, deploy, and operations, and then monitors. That monitor is 24/7. You create an avenue where you monitor those tools. And when you monitor your infrastructures, what it does that, whatever there's bug or there's any problem, it will trigger. It will send you a mail automatically. Like before that, you have to call or send mails. It doesn't happen like that. You have a question? Okay. So it doesn't happen anymore. So this DevOps have automated all those systems. That automatically it trigger, and once it trigger via mail or your app, if you are using for your monitoring tools, you get the notification and immediately you fix the bug. Please, the next one. Yeah, this is it. Those are the tools you need as a DevOps engineer. Like I said earlier, you have AWS, you have Azure. Azure is that's Microsoft. What's it called? Microsoft Cloud. Then for your monitoring tool, you can see we have Grafana. But most of the things that companies use most is Grafana and what we call New Relics. I have a guy that because of New Relics, he got a job in Canada today, just to monitor infrastructures. Because DevOps, whatever skills you are good at, you always get a job. If you know this. We have configuration management, which is Ansible, Kubernetes, and Chef. We have Docker, where we have our code will be deployed. We'll create an image for all our code before it's been deployed to operations. So we have how we build Gradle. There's another thing we call Jenkins, Maven, which you use to build your code and test, all sorts of things like that. These are the things about DevOps. So for all the things the speaker that spoke earlier said, they all border to this thing too. They are all intertwined, like I said earlier on. We all work hand in hand. Every company, organization today in the world need a DevOps because they are all going to cloud. So, conclusion. Speaking about DevOps, we mean an integrated approach to managing IT processes that includes corporate culture and implementation. So DevOps is a culture of certain methods and practices. DevOps relies on enhanced communication between project teams to achieve key indicators of consistency and performance efficiencies of working system. So the benefit of DevOps includes keeping up with the market needs, efficient usage of infrastructure and staff because of resources optimizations, resilience of applications due to sustainability building, overall product quality and enhancement, and so on and so forth. So as a DevOps engineer, you can also venture down the career path to DevOps architect, automation engineer, software tester, integration specialist, security engineer, release manager. Those are the career path for a DevOps engineer. So you can decide to choose any one of all those things I've said earlier on. Maybe a DevOps architecture, which is you always be the one to, like when Barawale was talking about project management and stuff like that. So a DevOps architecture will work with the likes of Barawale to say, okay, this is what we want to build and how it's going to work out. That's all those things are intertwined. Automation engineer and extra software tester, all like that. So once you decide to go for DevOps, you know the functions of all those tools that I highlighted earlier. They all have various functions, and you don't need to even know all. If you can just grab maybe one or two of them and know it well, you are up to game. Like you said earlier on, I have my younger brothers that left Nigeria 2 years ago and last year. One of them worked for an American company. Sure, 2 American companies remotely today in the UK. He have not visited America, but he's in the UK and work for them. Just a DevOps. And what does it do? It monitors their infrastructures. What does other one do? It just build. That's what we call it Jenkins pipeline, their pipeline. How the developer will bring in their codes, and they're going to make sure that those codes are automated and were tested and they build to success. Not that once they fail, it goes back to the developer. That is what they just do. Whereas there are people that have knowledge of everything, that can use all tools. And they're paying them well today. I have a guy that we did this same training together in Nigeria. The academy I trained for is working for the academy right now in Nigeria. In short, it teaches people from that in US, and they're paying them in euros, in dollars. But the thing is, the money is not the thing first. But getting the skills, have an understanding of it, is the key thing. Once you have those things, money will follow. Thank you.
Let's give me a round of applause. Any question? Okay, thank you so much. It's been a long day. We have learned a lot. One of the things I will do is to encourage you not to be confused, because right now I know that some of you are like, where should we even start from? Am I not late? It's never late until you are late. So far you are still alive, it's not late. So we are wrapping up already. And as you know, we are all expecting coding. Of course, DevOps, he has just said that is about coding, so you have to learn coding and scripting. So you permit me, first of all, I am not a developer, but I want to talk about the coding part, that part that some people are waiting for. So I'm a project manager, right? But I'm not here to talk about project management. But earlier in my life, when I first came, I used to code, but I found out that it was not really my thing, because I do better managing people, so I moved. I transitioned. So in this field, we call it transitioning. So I'm talking about the coding skills we'll be taking here. Of course, you've heard DevOps Cloud. Cloud is like ruling the world now. There are so many sorted after DevOps developers. If you can build this skill in 3 to 6 months, I'm telling you, you can't be jobless. I'm being honest. If you build the skill and you practice, you can never. There's no how. It's not even possible. How will you say you're a DevOps engineer and you don't have a job? It's not even possible, because a lot of people need them. They are sorted after. So for the coding skill, I'll be talking about different ones, but I'll start with mobile development. So for some of you that like to build applications for mobile phones, you like WhatsApp, Facebook, and all of that, this is a skill that you might want to pick up. But it's not simple and it's not hard. One of the things you will learn how to do is to code. You will use tools like XML, Extended Markup Language. You use things like Java. We have the Flutter too. There are different coding languages that you'll be exposed to in doing this. And another thing, so for me, I think it was 2017 I learned mobile development, and I gave up after 2 years, majorly, because I had a laptop then that whenever I launched my Android Studio, the guy would just be misbehaving. I had a lot of Git issues. After so many frustrations, I had to give up on that and move to another language. Well, I used to tell people that it's very good that that's why this orientation is very important. You've heard people's story, you've heard people's experience. You don't need to make mistakes that some people had made to get their niche. So now you already know what is what. So if you're going into mobile development, you need to have a very good system. Although technology is better now. I mean, that's like 4 or 5 years ago. So things are now better. When I talk to my friends that are mobile developers, they're like, Flutter is now, you don't need those issues that we used to have back then, we don't have it again. I'm like, well, good for you guys. I'm no more in that league again. So, but in case you're interested in building mobile applications, maybe you even have a business. For example, I remember a project I was trying to work on then too. A friend of mine that was trying to build a startup for tailors, he wanted us to build an app that I still have the UI UX of that app on my system, and I like going through it because I love that idea, and nobody has been able to work on that idea. I'm still looking out for somebody that will be able to get that idea and build it. So he wanted, and when it comes to tech, you can't do things alone, you have to collaborate because that idea has AI, you have to work with an AI engineer to achieve that goal. So when you put your picture on that app, you want to be able to analyze and get your size. So instead of you sending size to your tailor, just putting my picture on that app is to be able to get my waist, my everything, you know, using AI and every other tool to do that. That's the app that somebody that is interested in fashion can look at. So in case you're interested in building mobile applications, you need a very good system. You need the zeal to learn. You need the zeal never to give up like me that gave up after 2 years of trying. So you don't want to give up. When the codes are not working, you don't want to give up. And one of the benefits of learning here is community, because you won't be the only one learning. When you are done, when you are tired, the other person says, I already cracked that code. Let me see what's wrong with your own. And that working together will give you the energy to continue working. So the next one we'll be looking at is web development. I know a lot of people have heard about websites, how to build websites. So there are different aspects of web development. We call some people full stack. Those full stack developers are the people that build both front end and back end. They do everything. So when you see a website, for example, I'm trying to think of, let's use Facebook, www.facebook.com. Or let's use our WhatsApp. It's a mobile app, but it's a mobile app too. But I want to give an explanation. I want to explain something with that before I dive back into web development. So I know many of you noticed they upgraded WhatsApp lately, and the whole thing was just messed up. For people like us that have a lot of contacts, we just want to go to status and search for somebody. They remove the search button. My guys are like, the UI UX designer now will be in trouble. Because a lot of people, who send you people? Did you people make research? Did you know if people will like it? But they have it back now. Do you know it's back? This search is back on the status set. I saw it 2 days ago. I'm like, well, you know you're on yours. Because people must have complained. And the person that designed that new framework must explain why you think that you should remove search button. Because I honestly just want to search some people status and not look through everybody. So although there was a way around this, you go to the contact and be searching for the name, then you see the green button. I mean, it's just a lot of stress. So now let's talk about that. When you click on a name, for example, when you click on send message, there's an action when you send. Imagine clicking on the send button and it's not working. When you click on that send, you just see that the message goes, but there's something going on under that you are not aware of. When you go to a page and you want to sign up for something, when you are done filling the form and you click on sign up, sometimes you see, if you can read under your laptop, you see www, transferring some things. There are some things that are going on at the back end that you are not seeing. So when it comes to web development, we call some people front-end developers and back-end developers. The back-end developers are those that do that thing that you don't get to see at all. That when you click on that button, the whole magic that is happening that makes you sign up, the whole thing that just comes around at the back, that's the work of the back-end developer. So they use things like PHP. They use a lot of things, a lot of skills, a lot of programming languages to get that done. They even use JS, that's JavaScript, and many others. So, but when it comes to a training like this, taking back to his question when he was asking about tools, most times when you come to a training, you end up learning the tool that the person is using. For example, now if I'm a JS developer and I'm teaching you backend, I'll teach you the tool I'm using, right? But having that idea of my tool will make you to navigate back into whatever you want to use. So let's go to project management. So for example, in project management, I might use Jira, right? But some other company are using Excel. So even if you have learned with Jira from me, you have to go and learn Excel, you can use Excel to manage your tasks. But the idea of that Jira, you'll be able to navigate. I've worked with different companies and I've used 3 different kind of project management software application. And when I learned with Trello. So I ended up navigating to Zoho, I've used Jira and many other applications. So when it comes to tools, don't try to learn everything. Just learn what you are being taught. When you are very good at that, you will easily navigate around every other tool. It's the basis. It's understanding the nitty-gritty behind it. So as I was saying, as a web developer, you can either be a full stack, which means that you'll be doing front end and back end. That's a lot of work, actually. You're going to do what people are seeing and what people are not seeing. But you can choose to say, I just want to be doing front end, though, I'm okay. That's fine. Or I want to I love the back end. I want to do what people don't see. I like being the bad guy. Fine. So the front end now is what we are saying. So let me talk about UI, UX, and front end, how they relate. UI, UX is about design. We already talked about it earlier. So when you want to build a website, you talk to somebody, I want to build a website, but I don't know where I should put my login button. I don't know where this should be. So a UI UX designer, with their own experience, they call something UX researchers too. But like, I don't know who mentioned it, I think it was Brotiamino. He said that small companies cannot afford to employ a UI UX designer, a UX researcher, a front-end developer. So many times they give, one person can design the website, can build the front end and also build the back end, of everything. But in a normal scene, you should have a designer. That's someone that designs what the website should look like. But when you see the design, you can't click anything. It's not going to be interactive. It's not going to call anything. It's just dummy in the lightest form. Then the front end developer now converts that design to codes, using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and some other tools that, because the world is revolving. When I learned, then it was only HTML, CSS, and JavaScript we used to talk about. But now you hear a lot of people say a lot of programming language. So when you are in this field, it's not a field, the way our English teachers then in school, our mathematics teachers, what they know 10 years ago is still what they are teaching us 10 years after. No, they're not upskilling. If you do that here, you will just be behind the scene. You just realize that a 15-year-old boy has taken over you in your company. They don't even care about age. Everywhere I've worked for, every company I've worked, I'm like, nobody has ever even asked for this certificate self. Nobody even cares about what did you study in school. Nobody's having all these conversations with us again. So what you need to do here is to skill up at every given time. So when you learn front end, look at what they are now using. Almost every year, a new technology is coming out. They are changing things. They are making it simpler. They are making it easier. They are now libraries. People will build libraries, but you say, no, I must build my own from the scratch. We have things like CMS, WordPress. That one is even easier. Somebody has built a template. Your own is to edit it. They will say they are developers too. They used to call themselves, I don't know I can't remember what they call them, but they are just editing. But yes, there's a lot of work to it too, but they are editing. So there are different fields to this. So you can choose to be a front-end developer, back-end developer. For the course of this training, we will not be taking full-stack training because, of course, you have to start from front-end first. And even if you want to do back-end, you still need to learn a little about front-end before you now say, oh, I think I would love to be at the back-end, but at least you learn HTML and CSS. So another skill, the second to the last skill I'm talking about that I'll be teaching is Python. We call Python a multi-purpose programming language because it can do so many things. You see the data science, Python is there. Talk about anything, web, Python is there. Talk about mobile, Python is there. You can use Python to solve a lot of problems. So we'll be teaching Python languages. Some people are just Python developers. That means they develop with Python. They build libraries. And Python also have frameworks like Django is a framework. We have Flask is a Python framework. Panda. So many other, frameworks and all of that. So when it comes to this software development, you'll be using applications. If you are using Python and you'll be using Python is like what? What does it sound like? Snake. And the ID that you now use for Python is now called something like Anaconda. So that word is like snakes are just so much there, but don't worry, you won't see any live snake. So those are the kind of tools that you're going to use for that. Mobile development you might use, I don't really know what they use now, but I know Android Studio is something that we used to use then. And when I say mobile development, it means that you are doing both iOS and Android. But some people, they just say, I'm just Android. That means my app just works on Android phone. some people, my app just work on iOS. They are iOS developers. But some people, I'm a mobile developer, they do both. And there are now technologies that you can even use to build on one platform and then, make it work on every other platform. I mean, things are now getting better. And that's why when you get here, you have to be sure of what you want. So yes, we have said a lot today. And I don't want to come and show slides and talk about every other thing that people have talked about. And yes, the final one is JavaScript development. I mean, back then, I never knew that JavaScript was a very strong programming language. But right now, it's one of the strongest. I think there's always this back and forth between Python and JavaScript. So you might want to be a JavaScript developer. There are some people like that. That's what they do. They write JavaScript. Anything JS, they are there. The short form for JavaScript is JS. I don't want to get too technical, but I won't be teaching. I might not be teaching anything coding, but I hope I've been able to introduce you to it, been able to give you a breakdown of what the skills are. So those are the ones we major on, but they are not limited to this. Of course, there are many other things that you can learn. But for those that want to learn coding, you have to learn patience a lot because you'll be frustrated, and you can't learn it on phone. Yes, there are IDEs for phones, but if you're looking at developing a skill that you start using to excel, to get top of a career, you won't be able to do it with phone. Of course, one of the skills today we have seen that you can use a mobile phone for very well is digital marketing. I think she even said that with your phone, you are good to go. But when it comes to development, coding, if you really want to go far, phone would not even take you there. But I won't say that if you have interest, you should not start with your phone. I started coding with my phone before I got my system, maybe 4 years later. So it's still not a stop to learning. If you want to learn, you can still use your phone, but it won't give you that flight, the flight you want to take. It won't give you that flight, but yes, you can still do that. And if you want to learn coding, be ready to take time. The ROI is very long. Digital marketing, she said in 1-2 months, you can start making small bucks. But in coding, the ROI is long as possible, as committed as you are, and as ready to learn as you are. And the funniest is that I have a 9 years old that is learning Python. So it's not age thing. It's not that you must be very smart. There are so many lies they told us then that you have to be very smart. That's why if you go to tech conferences now, it's changing. But before then, I've been to a tech conference before. If the room is not bigger than this, I think it was at the Zone or Civic Hive, and we were just 3 ladies in that room. That was very far. But now, it's still 30-70. That means 70% of guys, 30%. But we are trying to see how ladies can feel comfortable learning all of these things because they are actually not as hard as you think they are. So I hope that with this viewpoint of mine, I've not confused you, but I've been able to convince you that coding is another skill that you might want to pick up for this training. So let's move. What next? We have heard a lot today. We have talked about so many skills. Up to 10 skills. We have talked about so many skills, and I know that you have decided to be part of one. So the next thing is to share the framework of the program. So we are going to do data here too. That's why we are learning data analytics and science. I think it's a very good skill that you should learn, especially if you have been into medicine and all of these skills. We have the 3-month plan and the 6-month plan, depending on the skill. If you are trying to do coding, just know that you are under the 6 months. But people that are doing things like copywriting, digital marketing, and all of that, they are under the 3-month plan. So, but it's very dependent on the course you pick. So when we gauge the number of people, we have a limit that must register for a course before we can be sure we want to pick up that course. Because it takes a lot to get an expert to come and teach you. So once we're able to get that number, that's why if you have friends that I think they might benefit from this, tell them to register. The link will be opened today too. So they can register for the course they want to learn. Once we have gathered enough data, the training is supposed to start anytime from November based on what we have. So, but the plan, some people, their plan is 3 months, especially if you are doing, specifically if you are doing digital marketing. The training will start, then you have your capstone project. We're not just training you to just trade and go and sit down. You will do projects. And one of the things you also do here is teamwork. Imagine what I said about a website now. So if you are in UI UX, and you are in front end, you are also a project manager or a product manager, you can see that you work together. The developer, they don't know how to do anything management. They're only just to develop and dump the code. But a manager is one that now say, oh, we have 3 months to work on this project. We have 2 weeks, and this is the time frame. You know, they are always the one coordinating the whole project. So a project manager will work with the designer. So it's going to build teamwork. That's one of the benefits of being part of this training. So you have your capstone project, and you also present like this. There are days that I'll just be sitting down, even the one holding the mic, and be sharing with us what you people worked on. This is what your website is for. You pitch your ideas to us. Somebody might like it and want to buy into what you're doing. Maybe a startup can even come out of this training. So then the training will continue. Then you also have internship. You know, so you probably work with 1 or 2 people that are already experienced to be able to test your skill. And people that are fortunate a lot might get internship to companies. So the next slide, please. So we have the 6 months plan, and this is very specific to next slide, technical, please. Okay, so it is longer. So those of you that are interested in DevOps, coding, cloud, this is your own plan. You are going to do your training too. You have your first capstone project. You have your second capstone project. And when you're doing projects, you learn how to present too. I mean, if you want to work with a company, you have to present your skill. Some people are good, but they don't know how to present what they know how to do. And because of that, they will not get opportunities. One of the things that also help people to thrive in this field is knowing how to sell your market. So one way or the other, all of us must learn how to be a marketer. I know how to build websites. But you know that somebody else is not as good as you are, but might get the gig because the person has sweet mouth. So when you learn presentations like this, it will help you develop that skill of presenting, talking about what you have worked on. You also do your internship and then final presentation and final capstone project. Who is excited about this? Who is excited about this journey? Okay, so let's write. So right about now, we are going to move to the next slide where you can now register for the training. It's already open. You use this link now or you scan. This thing will be open for, I think, minimum of 2 weeks. That means anytime from 2 weeks, we can shut it down once we are getting enough people that we need. So register for whatever course that you like to participate in. Let me just ask this question. Who has a course in mind that we've not talked about today? Maybe there's a particular course you're looking out to hear and we've not talked about it today. Is there anybody? Okay, amazing. So since we have handled all of your interested courses, you can just register now. It's not a big deal. It's just to... Do you have any problem scanning? If the scanning is not working, you can use the link. They are the same link just to make it easier for you. So at this point, I'll be calling on Bro Dami to come and give the closing remark for he's a man of God. Man of God, please come and give us the closing prayer and closing remark for today. Let's give him a round of applause. I mean, look at all the things he has done a lot of things to make this a success. That clap is too small, my people. It's even too small. She should say that he should stand up and welcome him. All right, thank you so much.
Praise the Lord. Well, I don't have much to say. Happy that we are all here and we've learned 1 or 2 things. And I believe that today we begin a new roadmap for us to upskill ourselves in diverse areas of learning that we have gotten today. And I believe that God will help us and God will help you too. We are here for you in case you have any further questions. You can send us mails via the email address that we use to contact you. And maybe in the mail, we'll send you my number and a number in case you have further questions to probably want to contact via email. And we intend that once the course starts, for each course, when we group you, we are going to have a WhatsApp group for each course. And the facilitator will be the admin of that particular group. We will be on every group too. And we'll be able to... So we're able to help you and support you in... as time goes by, as the course progress, we'll be supporting you. It's going to be a support group for you. I pray God will help you.
Okay, so somebody just asked me a question. Can you learn more than one? No. We want you to be focused, so that you don't have too much to do. There's assignments here. You just get tired and might give up. So just one per person. Thank you.
Yeah, it's very, very paramount that you just choose one and focus on one.
Question. Okay.
Yeah, what is the platform for? Is it going to be here or is it going to be online?
Okay. So we are looking at something hybrid. Firstly, there's a question there that is to gather if you want it online or offline. Very dependent on the trainer too. You know, some trainers, like one of the trainers now, we are saying we want it online. So like, I want it physical, like I want my students physical. So depending on your own response, and also the trainer will conclude. But one thing we are sure is that it's going to be hybrid. You have times that you come physically, that's certain, and there are times that you do online. So to now know which one will happen more, it will be after the registration, so the number of data we're able to gather. Thank you. Any other question? Okay.
So how, if you have friends that are not Christians and they would like to?
Sure, they can join. They don't have to be Christians to join the training. It's open to anybody. Any other question? Yes, exactly. Thank you. It's a means of evangelism. Yes, you will get the mail by 6 p.m. Everything, you will get the link again. But I think you should register now. But you have it so that you can share it. Okay, you will have it in your mail. Have you been getting mails from us? Okay, you'll get this one too. Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming. I want to she has said a lot about me, but she's the brain behind the whole thing. So let me just push it back. She's the brain behind the whole thing. Me, I'm just, like she said, I'm just a manager. Now she will carry the whole load of the work. God will help us in Jesus' name. So, can we just rise while we pray? Father, Lord, we thank you for this great day. We thank you for the accomplishment of this program. We thank you, Lord, because you have started with us. And we thank you because we know, Lord God Almighty, that every resources that we would need, even as it commences, as we go into the training proper, you will make available for us. We thank you, Father, Lord, because you strengthen each and every one of us, and you give us the grace, Lord, to learn. Father, we bless your holy name. I say, Father, thanks in Jesus' name. As we all going back to our respective homes or place of work today, Lord, we ask, oh God, that you take us back safely in the mighty name of Jesus. That, Father, we ask, oh God Almighty, that, Lord, you grant each and every one of us wisdom and understanding, even to know better all this which you want to do or start in the mighty name of Jesus. And we ask, oh God Almighty, that you bless your church in return in the mighty name of Jesus. Thank you, Father, Lord, for answers prayers. In Jesus' name we pray. May the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God, and the sweet fellowship of the Holy Spirit rest and abide with us now and forevermore. Amen. Surely, goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen. Shalom. Thank you.